Wednesday. We're doing another day of our trip around the world, of course, with Folklorama here at CTV Morning Live. We've got 2 weeks of it, and our Daniel Homerson is heading to the British Isles Pavilion. He's going to try the food. He's going to have a mocktail, and the McConnell School of Irish Dance is the oldest of its kind here in Manitoba. We're going to get a live performance. First, here's a look at your headlines. Wildfires are still burning across Manitoba, forcing thousands from their homes. Many evacuees are now in Winnipeg, frustrated to be displaced once again. Choking on smoke, wildfires are fueling dangerous air quality across Canada and parts of the U.S. The forecast is improving, but health experts are urging caution. And they heard a star was next door, so they waited with gifts. The result, a Travolta moment they'll never forget. Oh, I should have been standing there. That's awesome. That's so cool.
What kind of gift would you bring him if you went?
What would I bring him?
Yeah.
Oh, what do you get a man that has everything?
Well, and that's just it. I'm like, they showed up with gifts. I'm like, I wonder what they brought him to lure him out like that.
You're going to bring the sunshine, right?
Well, I wish I could, but perhaps maybe the rain, and I suppose that would be much more needed than the sunshine today, although there might still be a little bit of sunshine. Don't get me wrong about that, but it's the rain that we need, and it does look like we might be getting some of that today. It's 18 degrees with south-southeast winds, 16 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling, and the humidity is sitting at 95%. So as far as warnings go, the map is looking pretty much identical to what we were seeing yesterday, still with the heavy smoke warning through most of northern Manitoba and down along this eastern border through the central part of the province, running into just the smoke advisory. But still, it all has to do with the smoke for today. There will perhaps, though, be some precipitation, and you can see how active things are looking just off to the west of us, moving through central Manitoba. Showers, some thunderstorms that are firing off at this time. We have the possibility of seeing some of that maybe later on today. I mean, there's that chance this morning. I think the first round might miss us, but then later on today, nearly everybody has a possibility of getting clipped with some showers or perhaps some thunderstorms. It's going to be a warm one today. It's already very, very muggy. We're going to notice that heat and humidity today, but it does still look like it's going to continue to heat up over the next couple of days. Another round of rain could be moving in by the end of the week. I think we'll see a little more of that sunshine for tomorrow, but by Friday, chance of showers, maybe some thunderstorms again. And yeah, the temperatures a little bit above seasonal and then just dropping ever so slightly to below seasonal for the coming weekend.
Thank you, Terry. Wildfires continue to burn throughout Manitoba, forcing thousands to flee south. That includes people from Nisijawasik Cree Nation, located at Nelson House. Many are now in Winnipeg after leadership ordered a full evacuation order over the weekend. As CTV's Alex Carpa shows you, some of the evacuees are frustrated to be out of their homes once again.
Large plumes of smoke near the community of Nisijawasik Cree Nation in northern Manitoba has now forced hundreds to flee south.
That is very frustrating. Oh my God, I can't believe it.
Felicia Wetman left her home on Sunday and arrived later that night in Winnipeg. When she arrived, she learned that her suitcase was lost during the evacuation, leaving her with nothing but the clothes on her back.
I was so mad and angry. I just wanted to leave. I almost started crying.
A mandatory evacuation order was issued by Chief and Council over the weekend. Susan Wood says she didn't have a lot of time to get out, which caused her a lot of stress.
It's scary, especially for our little ones.
Wood was assisting in the firefight before she left. She says the situation changes day by day, bringing forth unprecedented challenges for fire crews.
Those tree pots, once they burn, they turn red and they pop like popcorn. Those are the ones that create hot spots.
Manitoba is in the midst of one of its worst wildfire seasons in 3 decades. Over 1.55 million hectares have burned in the province this year. Sheila North, a former Manitoba Grand Chief, says as evacuees pour south, more needs to be done to support them.
You know, we're calling on hotels and hotels associations, but we should also possibly be calling on landowners and people that own buildings and developers to see what they can do to step up.
With little to no hotel rooms available in Winnipeg, the thousands of evacuees from Nisijawasik most likely will have to stay at congregate shelters throughout the city, which both Wetman and Wood say is very uncomfortable. Alex Carpa, CTV News, Winnipeg.
More restrictions have been announced in Nova Scotia to prevent additional wildfires.
Restricting travel and activities that really aren't necessary.
The province is now looking at a long stretch of hot, dry weather with very little rain. And Premier Tim Houston says that Nova Scotians should stay out of the woods. Hiking, fishing, and the use of vehicles and forests are no longer permitted, and all of the trail systems are now off limits. Camping is allowed, but only on official campgrounds. There's also a hefty penalty. Anyone who doesn't follow the rules will be slapped with a $25,000 fine, which is the same amount for the ongoing burn ban. In Newfoundland, a growing wildfire is rapidly spreading. Newfoundland and Labrador Premier John Hogan says that the flames near Small Point, Adams Cove, Blackhead, Broad Cove, and Kingston has now tripled in size. Hot and dry weather in the province has also far led to 92 forest fires and multiple evacuation orders. Smoke from Canadian wildfires is causing serious air quality concerns across parts of this country and the U.S. The national forecast has been improving as a major smoke cloud moves northeast. Montreal and Toronto had some of the worst air quality in the world over the weekend.
Avoid being outside for too long and do stuff in the morning and the evening when it's not so bad.
I just love being outdoors. Actually, it's not that bad.
This hasn't stopped me from doing anything.
Health experts advise limiting outdoor activities during high-risk days. 9 people are in hospital with salmonella after eating various brands of pistachios and Dubai chocolate. Canada's Public Health Agency has issued a recall on a number of products distributed in Ontario and Quebec under the brand names Habibi, Al Mokhtar Food Center, and Dubai. The products were sold both online and in Quebec. In total, Health Canada says it's aware of the 52 cases the illness is caused by the affected products across the country. 1 in Manitoba, 2 in British Columbia, 9 in Ontario, and 39 in Quebec. A roadside stop on a highway in Brazil led police to seize gold worth more than 15 million Canadian dollars. More than 100 solid gold bars were found hidden inside this pickup truck in the largest seizure ever by the country's highway police. The driver, who was traveling with his wife and a baby, is under arrest. Investigators suspect that the gold may have been on its way to Venezuela or Guyana. It was a day that the staff of Island Lakes and Child and Family Services will never forget. A meeting with a Hollywood superstar.
Awesome, man. So awesome.
That's none other than John Travolta. He was in Winnipeg shooting the movie called November 1963 about the assassination of John F. Kennedy. He was shooting a scene next door on Island Lakes CFS on Wellington Avenue. The staff caught wind the celebrity was there and waited in the parking lot with gifts. Travolta greeted the group, shook hands, and posed for selfies.
Greeted him, we took photos, and we gave him a gift. Painting of an eagle that represents love, kindness, and also tobacco that represents that he accepted it, and just to thank him that he's here.
Travolta wrapped up his scenes last week. No word on when the movie will be released. Here's your first look at traffic along Kenniston Boulevard. No stalls or crashes to report. Let us know if you see anything, though. CTV Morning, WPG on X. Folklorama, and what a beautiful backdrop you've got there, Daniel.
Yeah, absolutely, Ainsley. This morning, we're on CTV Morning Live's trip around the world. We're on the northwestern coast of Europe. So we're talking England, Wales, Scotland, and north of Ireland. That's right, it's the British Isles Pavilion. And we have plenty to show you this morning. Coming up at 6:37, we're going to try out some new tastes and old favorites for pub-style food here. We're going to try out some drinks at a well-stocked bar, and later on we'll have performances from both Highland and Irish dance groups. Learn a lot about the different cultures that make up the British Isles. So plenty. Hopefully I'm not playing these bagpipes here this morning, but maybe I'll get in on stage, but it's going to be a great morning here. There's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to see here. So please stick around. And coming up, well, yeah, as I mentioned, some of that pub-style food at 6 in the morning. Nothing better than that.
I love that, Danny. Thank you. I looked online. It's like $200 to get bagpipes.
But
a new skill.
Right? And here, I mean, honestly, I have always said this. I would love to see Danny make an attempt to play them. But The idea of somebody teaching a kid that this is happening within your house, a parent has to listen to a kid learning to play the bagpipes. Anyway, we've got a video to show people, so enough about that.
Okay, let's have a look. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. Oh, well, these are chocolate labs. They're going to get a quiet bath in the kitchen sink. Oh, man, they'll cause some chaos when they're bigger, for sure. Don't fit in the sink.
How many? Oh, my goodness, so precious.
I love it. Good place for a bath.
Yeah.
Will we get a shower?
We very well could. We got a little bit yesterday. I was just looking at my rain gauge. I don't know if it's an accurate reading because now that I'm looking at it, it's a bit of an angle. But what do we get here? Almost 5 millimeters. You can see there, almost. Maybe if it was straight up and collecting all of the rain, we would have got those 5 millimeters. I'll dump that out in a bit, and we'll see how much we collect throughout the day today, because there is a very good chance of more showers or perhaps some thunderstorms rolling through most of the province today. In fact, 17 degrees is where we begin in Winnipeg with south-southeast winds, 13 kilometers per hour. The pressure falling, humidity sitting at 95%. I am still enjoying some sunshine. Only just 6:05 is when that sun began to rise, so it's only been up for a few minutes time now and has not made its way above the buildings in the downtown area, but is bright enough now to see what's going on. And there's just a few clouds out here, some darker clouds as I look to the west, and that's where the activity is showing up on our satellite image right now. But again, throughout the entire province, nearly everybody has the possibility of seeing some showers or some thunderstorms today. It's still going to be a hot day. It's going to be a bit of a muggy day as well. Temperatures climbing slightly above seasonal, so brace yourself for the heat, but then with the potential for those storms. We're taking a break. We'll be back with more CTV Morning Live.
CTV Morning Live weather brought to you by Canadian Footwear, helping you find the perfect fit.
Good morning. It's 6:15. Leo Ledochowski, the founder of Canada Inns, Manitoba's largest hotel chain, has died. Both Premier Wab Kinew and Winnipeg Mayor Scott Gillingham posted tributes to Ledochowski on social media. Ledochowski was an outspoken leader in Manitoba's hospitality industry. He served on the board of Hotel Association of Canada for nearly 30 years. He was also a leader in Manitoba's Ukrainian community. Ledochowski founded Canada Inns in the late 70s. There are now Canada Inn centers in Winnipeg, Portage-la Prairie, Brandon, and Grand Forks. The company also owns the Metropolitan Entertainment Center downtown and 9 Tavern United restaurants. Ledochowski was invested into the Order of Manitoba in 2022, recognizes his contributions to healthcare, children's sports, the United Way, and the Canadian Museum for Human Rights. The Prime Minister spoke for the first time since Donald Trump increased tariffs. Mark Carney unveiled new measures to help the softwood lumber sector, struggling under the weight of the trade war. And with the deal still looming, the U.S. ambassador to Canada weighed in on a possible timeline. CTV's Rachel Aiello reports.
The president in recent days.
The Prime Minister says trade talks are continuing, even though he and U.S. President Donald Trump aren't talking.
We'll speak when it makes sense.
The U.S. ambassador to Canada said progress may be slow for a few weeks.
It's going to take a while to work through it. There's a lot of issues that are still on the table. Canada's a priority, but I mean, there's a whole lot of countries that are priorities.
With no timeline for a new deal or any tariff reprieve, Mark Carney promised financial support for the softwood lumber sector, as well as help retraining workers and breaking the industry's reliance on the U.S. market.
We will be our own best customer by relying more on Canadian lumber, Canadian softwood for Canadian projects.
Carney's foreign affairs and finance ministers spent the day meeting with counterparts in Mexico. The trip was aimed at strengthening ties, but included talk of strategy after Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum negotiated a 90-day reprieve from higher tariffs for her country.
They've been engaging strategically with the White House, and that's exactly the same kind of playbook that we've been doing in Canada. As Minister Anand said, our realities are different, but in somewhat similar as well.
The opposition say the Liberals are not living up to their elbows up election pledge.
Under Mark Carney's leadership, it has been elbows down and tariffs up.
Polling suggests Canadians' anxiety over getting a deal is growing.
Canadians are increasingly worried about Trump and the state of the trade negotiations. Concern on that front has been increasing over the last number of weeks.
Nano said Carney still holds a double-digit lead over Poilievre's Conservatives. But the longer tariffs persist and the longer it takes all of this talk to become action, the more likely it is that that Liberal support could start to slip.
Air Canada's flight attendants have voted overwhelmingly in favor of strike action. The Canadian Union of Public Employees says its members voted 99.7% in favor of a strike if necessary. So what does that mean? It could allow them to issue a 72-hour strike notice as early as August 16th if the bargaining team decides to call for it. The airline and the union have been in contract talks since the start of the year. The union represents over 10,000 flight attendants at Air Canada and Air Canada Rouge. The UN's Assistant Secretary General says that the possibility of Israel expanding operations in Gaza is, quote, deeply alarming.
This would risk catastrophic consequences for millions of Palestinians and could further endanger the lives of the remaining hostages in Gaza.
He also warns it would endanger the lives of even more Palestinians and Israeli hostages being held by Hamas. Israeli media has reported that President Benjamin Netanyahu plans to meet his security cabinet tomorrow to propose a full reoccupation of Gaza. U.S. President Donald Trump was asked if he'd support that plan. Trump said he wasn't aware of the suggestion and that, quote, it's going to be pretty much up to Israel. Everybody loves a cuddle, right? This German man says that he loves to cuddle with his pet alligator. Mrs. Meyer has lived in a special facility at his home for 30 years. He's a former circus artist, and she is too. But these days, things are quieter, and visitors only get to see her the odd time. He admits it takes a high level of trust to swim, bathe, and cuddle a gator. But he says it works because he never crosses her boundaries. He's a serious operation at his home and as well, which includes a heated floor and thermal lighting. Get ready to let it go. Rainbow Stage's production of the hit Disney musical Frozen kicks off this week. Following Anna, Kristoff, and Olaf as they set out on an epic adventure to rescue Anna's sister, Elsa, whose icy powers have trapped the land in eternal winter. And of course, you can expect to hear all your favorite songs, such as Let It Go, Do You Want to Build a Snowman, and Love is an Open Door.
Maybe a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Extra pressure, extra fun. Mm-hmm. Just because they are such classics.
And kids are tough critics.
They are.
So, you know, they're not, they're going to expect a certain caliber of performance, I think, and we're hoping to bring that to them.
Frozen runs until August 7th to 24th, and Rainbow Stage says the tickets are going fast. This Sunday's matinee performance is already sold out. Head to rainbowstage.ca for more ticket details. Here's a live look at Confusion Corner. So far, so slow at 6:20 this morning. No stalls or crashes to report.
All right, and now a look through the Bath Fitter Live. Bath Fitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. A few extra clouds hanging around out there this morning. We first of all had to wait for the sun to rise, but now that the sun has finally started to rise, the heavier clouds are moving in, bringing with them a round of rain or storms perhaps. I'll show you the satellite image in just a second. First, we'll talk temperatures, which are above seasonal to kick off your morning. 13 degrees, a normal low. Most of us several degrees above that. 17 here in Winnipeg. We're seeing a lot of 18s showing up as well. Even some 19s off in the southeastern part or just across that border. 20 degrees in Kenora. For northern Manitoba, it's a warm start for you as well. High teens all throughout northern Manitoba. Still with the heavy smoke in the area, though. All of northern Manitoba, parts of east central Manitoba included in that heavy smoke warning issued by Environment Canada. Here's a look at the storms that I was talking about. Just off to the west is where we're seeing them right now, and they'll be moving up into parts of northern Manitoba, but also into parts of the southeast as well. Nearly everybody at some point today will likely see some of that activity rolling through. It will be a warm one. It's already so very muggy out there. Our noontime temperatures have us pretty much at the low 20s, but then pushing up into the high 20s for later on today, topping out at about 27 degrees here in Winnipeg, which actually is just slightly above seasonal. 26, that would be normal for this time of year. Hotter tomorrow, clearer tomorrow, should be clearing out overnight, but then another round of precipitation likely to roll through by the end of the week. The weekend itself, drier, a little bit cooler as we're seeing these temperatures dropping off just slightly below seasonal. And our weather picture today, this little guy standing tall on the lookout out at Riding Mountain National Park. Thanks to Renee for the photo. And keep them coming, please, to Winnipeg Weather at CTV.ca. We're taking a break right now, but we'll be back with more CTV Morning Live.
Good morning. E-transfers are one of the most popular ways to send and receive money in Canada, with more than 1 billion transactions happening each year. Generally, it's a safe way to move money, but e-transfer fraud is on the rise as hackers find new ways to get into your bank account. CTV's Pat Foran reports.
I was shocked. I thought this could never happen to me.
Lola Bielavuk of Toronto was using Poshmark, a website that brings together buyers and sellers, allowing users to purchase new and second-hand items. Bielavuk posted pajamas for $40 and someone offered to buy them.
I saw a link there that was for $40, which is what I was selling it for, an e-transfer. Perfect.
Bielavuk says she was sent what looked like a regular e-transfer link, so she decided to deposit the money.
I clicked Tangerine. I put in my client number and password. So I entered in the security code thinking everything is fine.
But after she did that, the website froze. Someone she didn't know added their name to her e-transfer contact list, and she was scammed out of $2,740. This happened in January. She's been trying for 6 months to get her money back without success.
And I was told that my claim was denied, that I was the one that was negligent.
Tangerine Bank told CTV News Tangerine will never ask you to download software or remote access apps, and you should never share your login information or one-time passcodes with anyone.
Think before you click. Just don't go ahead and click on links that have been sent to you.
Cybersecurity expert Ritesh Kotek says AI is making it easier for criminals to create real-looking e-transfers and banking websites. He says scammers send fake links hoping you'll click on them.
You think you're logging into a financial institution such as your bank, but in actuality you're logging in and giving your information to these fraudsters and hackers.
Kotak advises using auto deposits, strong passwords, and making sure you're on trusted websites. After CTV News reached out to Tangerine Bank, they reviewed Bielavuk's case again and told her, our recovery efforts with the other financial institution were ultimately successful and your funds have been fully recovered. Bielavuk has now been given a full refund, which was great news for her.
Thank you, CTV, for helping me get my money back. From the bottom of my heart, I'm so grateful. Thank you for everything.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
Coming up at 6:38, our Daniel Homerson is trying some new favorites, some old classics at the British Isles Pavilion. Stick with us.
CTV Morning Live is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
Waking up this morning is 17 degrees. South-southeast winds, they're 13 kilometers per hour right now. The pressure is falling and the humidity sitting at 95%. That sky is something else. Some darker clouds, but the way the sun is shining through them right now, we're not dealing with the heavy smoke here through southern Manitoba in the same way that northern Manitoba is once again. So there's the smoke map, or the warnings map, indicating all of the heavy smoke throughout northern Manitoba and through east central Manitoba. Right down along that eastern border is where it's the most prevalent. Now for us at the moment, the bigger issue is the storms rolling through. You can see on the satellite image right now, showers, thunderstorms all through the kind of central part of the province right now, but it rolled through the southwest earlier on. We'll continue to push further into the north, but also further to the east as well. And nearly everybody will have a chance of seeing some of that precipitation today. A welcome sight. Thunderstorms not so much because the lightning striking dry conditions could be pretty detrimental, but The rain is needed, and we will welcome every drop of that. 27 degrees. It's muggy out there, too. Hot and humid day, slightly above seasonal. Bit of a breeze that'll be picking up as well out of the southwest. That'll be gusting at times to 40 kilometers per hour, continuing overnight out of the west. Conditions, though, begin to clear in the overnight hours, dropping down to 17 degrees. Still a mild night ahead. Another warm one for tomorrow. Probably a little more sunshine expected, and west winds will be starting to ease at about 20 kilometers per hour, but we might notice more of that smoke moving back in again for tomorrow. A little round of rain for the end of the week. We will welcome that once again, and then temperatures dipping, but only slightly. 26 degrees is normal. We'll just drop off of that as we look ahead to the coming weekend, continuing into next week.
Thank you, Terry. A Winnipeg senior says that the province is delaying vital resources for her supplemental oxygen. Manitoba Health is asking people to pick up checks and documents in person due to ongoing labor issues at Canada Post. But as CTV's Harrison Shin explains, that's not always possible for seniors with mobility issues.
It takes a toll on your budget. You have to give up something else.
90-year-old Evelyn Kenny lives in a Grant Park apartment building. She uses an oxygen tank for her everyday life.
I'm on oxygen 24/7. If I go out, I have a portable machine. I cannot be without oxygen.
She pays for her oxygen up front, then gets a rebate check from the provincial government. They came regularly for the last 5 years, but for the last 2 months, the now $435 checks didn't come.
When my check wasn't in the mail, I phoned and told I was to go to 300 Carlton Street and pick it up.
But the federal government's checks made it.
Well, the federal government got all their checks mailed. Why did this government jump the wagon and decide that they're going to have us go pick them up?
Getting downtown is not an easy journey.
I would have to book Handy Transit and get them to take me down. And as a rule, Handy Transit does not wait for you. So that means if they wouldn't wait for me, I would at least have an hour's wait downtown to be picked up and come home.
CTV News reached out to the health minister's office and received a response. In the statement, minister's spokesperson said, "Our priority is to ensure that all Manitobans, especially seniors and vulnerable individuals, continue to receive the support they need. To prevent essential checks from being delayed, Manitoba opened essential mail distribution centers as a precaution. We remain committed to working across government to address any ongoing concerns and ensure that affected individuals are supported during this time." Kenny says the perspective is important.
Whoever thinks up these ideas are not putting themselves in the position of a senior.
Harrison Shin, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Canada's Privacy Commissioner has launched an investigation into a cyber attack targeting WestJet. WestJet warned customers in June about some personal and travel-related data being stolen. The investigation still looked into the security safeguards at the WestJet at the time of the breach, as well as the adequacy of its notifications to people affected. WestJet says that it fully supports the investigation. The breach was first made public on June 13th and involved what the company described as sophisticated criminal third party. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services now plans to cancel $500 million in funding for new mRNA vaccines. The move impacts 22 projects for vaccines against bird flu and other viruses that are being led by companies including Pfizer and Moderna. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. says that he's pulled the funding over claims that the mRNA technology poses more risks than benefits for certain respiratory viruses. Health Canada has issued urgent recalls for a number of baby nests, warning of potential risks to babies involving falls, strangulations, and entrapment. The recalls are for baby nest models from Bishik and Chicure sold under the 11 brand. The company says that more than 3,000 units of the affected products were sold in Canada from nearly early 2020 to July of this year. Health Canada says that the safest place for babies to sleep is on their back on a firm, flat surface. Customers of the baby nests are asked to stop using the affected products and dispose of them safely. Health Canada is warning customers about serious health risks associated with unauthorized fitness products sold online. In the advisory, the department announced seizures of unauthorized injectable peptide drugs, often used for bodybuilding, anti-aging, or enhancing athletic performance. Affected products were sold on the now closed website Canada Peptide. According to Health Canada, though injectable peptides are regulated as prescription drugs, the department hasn't authorized any of the products seized or sold on the company's website. You can find the full list of unauthorized products named on the advisory on Health Canada's website. A neighborhood in Quebec has been rallying to save Timmy the mini pig who's facing eviction.
He's my baby. I know him so well. I mean, I had him since he was tiny. He fit in my hand. I'm the only mommy he knows.
Timmy is 11 years old and has lived his entire life with his loving owner, Sandra. But now they're being separated. Why? Because Timmy isn't registered. The City of Montreal passed a bylaw allowing owners who already had a mini pig to keep their pets as part of a grandfather clause, as long as they were registered. Something that Sandra didn't know, missing the deadline to do so. And despite neighbors signing a petition, the borough of LaSalle says that they are upholding Montreal's bylaw. Taking a look at the current traffic situation at McPhillips Street, looks like a smooth drive. Any traffic tips to share, send them to us. CTV Morning, WPG on X. Taking a look at your gas prices, the Canadian average stands at $1.37, while the provincial average is slightly lower, $1.34. And in Winnipeg, the average is $1.35. Lowest price in the city, $1.27. You can find this at gasbuddy.com.
Price at the Pump brought to you by kidneycard.ca. Get a free tow and a tax receipt for value of your car.
There's nothing better than, maybe some fish and chips at 6:38 a.m. Daniel Holmerson joins us from the British Isles Pavilion.
Yeah, in my opinion, Ainsley, pub food is the ultimate comfort food. And I'm joined by Lou Ferguson, who's one of the adult ambassadors here at the British Isles Pavilion. Good morning, Lou.
Good morning.
Walk me through some of those pub favorites that we're talking about. Obviously, we see some fish and chips there. What else is on the table?
Absolutely. It's the best breakfast, in my opinion. We have fish and chips. It's a standard classic. We also have bangers and mash, meat pies, those really, warm European comfort foods. Those are a staple of our pavilion.
Tell me about the chips here. Are we talking gravy or something else on there today?
We've got a little something else. Gravy is obviously an incredible option to have, but curry is a really, really big thing in the British Isles with that sort of boom of Anglo-Indian cuisine. We love to showcase that every single year. It's definitely a fan favorite. It's one of the sleeper hits.
Right on. And tell me about some of the baked goods here, some of the desserts.
Absolutely. I mean, you obviously have the sticky toffee pudding, the Welsh cakes, the scones, but something that's been really popping off this year was the Eaton's Mess. So I'm going to hand that to you here.
It's better than fish and chips this early. I'm going to get you to hold that while I take a bite.
Of course. So Eaton's Mess has a very, very fun story to it. At Eaton's College in the British Isles, a student was making a pavlova and they dropped it on the ground. It went smack. And so all this meringue was just everywhere. They're like, what are we going to do with this? So they got whipped cream, the strawberry compote. They put it together and they called it Eaton's Mess because it caused a mess at Eaton's College.
That's fantastic. And this is your first year as an adult ambassador. What does that mean to you, Lou?
Yeah, so I think that being an adult ambassador is a way for me to connect back to my community. This dance studio that runs this pavilion, this whole pavilion on its own, is something that has grown with me as I've grown up. So, you start as a little baby as a Highland dancer in the show, and then you grow to be an adult ambassador.
Awesome. Well, coming up in the 7 o'clock hour, we're going to try out some mocktails to wash all of this great food down, Ainsley.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Danny. I love how he said, you know what, I'll take it away. I'm going to have my breakfast.
Right? Although that Eaton's Best, that sounded like a dream, actually.
Oh, I'm salivating. Yeah. How is it on the roof?
So it's muggy out here. I throw a sweater on just because of that dampness. I don't know. I don't love how it feels first thing, especially with that humidity being so intense. 95% humidity at this time. 17 degrees right now. Nothing wrong with the temperatures, but the sun is barely making its way above the buildings in the downtown because it only started to rise after we started the show. 6:05 was the beginning of sunrise, and it hasn't quite made its way high enough. to throw that warmth down on me yet. South-southeast winds, 13 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling and the humidity, as I mentioned, is high at 95%. So it's a little bit warm, a muggy day, and it will continue to heat up with the potential for some storms no matter where you are today. Showers, possible thunderstorms will be rolling through. Now, again, we will welcome all of the rain. We need it. We did get a little bit yesterday, about 5 millimeters almost, according to my tipsy rain gauge. It was at a bit of an angle, so I'm not going to say that that was a very accurate reading, but still, a little bit of precipitation fell yesterday, and we will welcome another round of that. We have been underperforming as far as rain goes, and then of course overperforming as far as the smoke goes, and that's still a factor across northern Manitoba. You remain under those heavy smoke warnings, lifted here in the south, but we may notice that smoke moving back in tomorrow as these winds begin to shift. Taking a break right now, but we'll be back with more CTV Morning Live.
CTV Morning Live weather brought to you by Garage Masters, your complete garage specialists.
It's a green start to the day on Wall Street. Futures are pointing to gains across the board. Dow futures are up 143 points. NASDAQ futures are gaining 12 points. S&P futures are also seeing an uptick, rising by 14 points. The Canadian dollar is showing a slight decline in early trading. Overseas, the Hang Seng is inching upward, up 8 points, while the Japan's Nikkei is seeing stronger momentum, up by 245 points. Good morning. It's 6:45. Many consider him a visionary who transformed Winnipeg's historic Exchange District, and now a street in the neighborhood bears his name.
Our father loved Winnipeg. He loved its history, he loved its elegance, and he loved its gritty spirit.
A section of Lombard Avenue near Waterfront Drive was renamed Monty Nathanson Way after the real estate developer who passed away last year. Nathanson is credited with redeveloping numerous historic properties and helped reshape the Exchange District and downtown Winnipeg. According to his family, Nathanson was a visionary who saw potential in neglected buildings.
Monty went on to develop hotels, shopping centers, office buildings, senior living homes, restaurants, and even parking lots. He loved it. He was always on the move. But it wasn't just about the deal for him. He always said he had a feeling for it. He saw possibilities in that not everyone might see.
Nathanson's company, United Equities Group, remains a family-run business which owns and manages properties in Winnipeg and across Canada. The tragedy involving the Titan submersible was preventable. That's according to a new report. The tourist craft was on a dive to the Titanic when it imploded back in 2023, killing all 5 on board. CTV's John Van Rao on what the U.S. Coast Guard's investigation reveals about the company, its controversial CEO.
What happened to the Titan submersible and the loss of everyone on board, including a teenager, was examined extensively by the U.S. Coast Guard. And with the release of a more than 300-page report, an investigative board finding what many have long believed, that this marine casualty and the loss of 5 lives was preventable.
I'm mad because it happened, and I'm sad that all these people lost their lives. And that's why, to me, it should have never happened. It shouldn't have been allowed to happen.
The report placing blame on OceanGate, the company behind the experimental sub,
turn left,
and its ambitious CEO Stockton Rush, who died in the implosion. The report cites an inadequate design, certification, maintenance, and inspection process for the Titan, adding there was a toxic workplace culture. Some who expressed safety concerns were fired or threatened with dismissal.
To start operations, was there pressure?
Oh, 100%.
The report finding the submersible was used despite several prior incidents involving its carbon fiber hull, while the vessel was never registered with a so-called flag state, so there was no government oversight.
I've never seen that in 28 years of doing and overseeing investigations.
The Titan had been on a dive off Newfoundland carrying passengers who paid up to $250,000 to see the wreck of the Titanic when the submersible imploded.
The good news is they would have been killed instantly, so they wouldn't have suffered, but they shouldn't have been killed in the first place. This was preventable.
In a statement, OceanGate, which is no longer operating, said we again offer our deepest condolences to the families of those who died and to all those impacted by the tragedy. The report also notes if CEO Stockton Rush had survived, criminal charges against him would have been considered. John Rao, CTV News, Toronto.
A program encouraging you to explore your own backyard is still in effect for a few more weeks. There's still plenty of time to make the most of the new Canada Strong Pass. 3 locations in our city are participating in the federal government program: the Canadian Museum for Human Rights, the Manitoba Museum, and the Winnipeg Art Gallery. Until September 2nd, anyone aged 17 and under can get in for free, and admission is half off for those aged 18 to 24. The WAG is also free for everyone on the second Sunday of every month. The Canada Strong Pass also offers free admission and camping discounts with Canada Parks and discounted travel with Via Rail. A concrete wall in North Dakota is getting a huge brush of new color.
By creating such a big work on a building like this, it's really quite a spectacle.
Artist Guido Van Helten is bringing his stunning artistic abilities to another big stage. He does most of his work from 23 meters above ground on the former Union silos on the city of Minot. Van Helten has done a number of gigantic murals across the globe, with earlier projects including a mural on a dam in Australia and a former cooling tower at the Chernobyl nuclear plant in Ukraine. As you can imagine, it's not a quick process. Van Helten says that he initially meets with residents to learn about the community and then spends months slowly transforming what usually is the largest structure in a small town. Here's a look at the Norwood Bridge. Traffic volumes appear to be flowing quite nicely at this hour. If you spot any trouble, let us know.
Oh, and the way the sun is glowing through those clouds is quite stunning this morning. It's warm, 17 degrees, south-southeast winds, 13 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling and the humidity is sitting at 95%. Now, that sun hasn't even been up for an hour yet. 6:05 is when it began to rise. There's a warm feeling and a muggy feeling out there, and then perhaps a stormy essence that will kind of be throughout the day and throughout the province. We could use more of that rain. We're still dealing with that heavy smoke and, of course, the fire situation. Things have been desperately dry, and we need the precipitation, so we welcome it for sure. Heavy smoke warnings remaining in place through much of northern Manitoba and through east central Manitoba as well, as you can see. Then, of course, you can see here on the satellite image the storms that we've been keeping an eye on this morning. They're pushing more into central Manitoba. I'm not sure that we're going to get clipped. It looks like that first bit might bypass us, but then later on today, a very good chance that we won't be bypassed, that in fact we will be getting some of that shower activity or thunderstorms perhaps. That'll be the case around the province. And you can see with these temperatures that it will be a warm day. Mid to high 20s expected right up into northern Manitoba. So feeling the heat with the slightly above seasonal temperatures, more so in the low 20s through parts of the northwest today, so not quite as intense as it's been. You had those heat warnings issued just as we were rolling on into the weekend, remember. Mid-20s, 26 degrees just for a reference point. That would be a seasonal daytime high here through southern Manitoba. Likely where you'll hit in the southwest. Southeastern Manitoba might go a degree beyond that today and still get even warmer later on this week. Northwestern Ontario maybe just slightly cooler, but again, that chance of showers or thunderstorms is there. I mentioned a little warmer tomorrow, up to 29 degrees. Drier conditions expected after it clears overnight, but another round of precipitation could finish off the work week, and then we'll see those temperatures dipping ever so slightly for the coming weekend.
Thanks for that, Terry. A University of Waterloo study looked at gender bias in the aviation industry. It found that female pilots might in fact perform better under pressure. Heather Sororin reports.
Preksha Shah is in her happy place.
For me personally, I'm a very adrenaline junkie, so I love flying, and it's also just really cool.
While this is a high-fidelity flight simulator, the aviation student has been in the cockpit of the real deal, too.
And the end goal, I definitely want to be like a commercial airline pilot.
Shah is one of 20 participants in a study at the University of Waterloo using the simulator.
We have data that challenges traditional assumptions in aviation these days, and that's kind of groundbreaking to be able to have this evidence to support the fact that, women belong in this industry.
For the study, participants with the same experience wore eye-tracking glasses and completed standard flight tasks, but with a twist. An unexpected total engine failure.
I was immediately able to be like, okay, we've had an engine failure and the runway's right there. Now I just need to land.
As calmly and as safely as possible.
And then maneuver the plane to said space where they could land the plane and let the air traffic controllers know that there was a mayday, there's an emergency on board.
The lead author of the study says women may be better at keeping control and making decisions in stressful flight scenarios.
Female participants were able to manage that much better in these high stress scenarios versus those male pilots who ended up having a little bit more error with respect to, say, things like the airspeed they were trying to control while coming down from this engine failure and safely landing the plane.
Highlighting the importance of looking beyond surface level indicators when measuring pilot performance.
Only 6 to 7% of airline pilots are women, and that's a tremendous challenge when you think about there not being enough pilots in the system, and how do we attract and retain a workforce to support the future.
The team hopes their findings will help shape what the industry looks for pilots of the future. Heather Centerin, CTV News, Waterloo.
Olympic medalist Madison Maley lost her gold bracelet while biking in Vancouver. She brought it to celebrate her team's gold medal victory in Tokyo. She was desperate to get it back, so she called on a specialist. CTV's Sin-Jin Alexander reports.
Chris Turner is the first to admit you can't find them all. But he has been successful more than 500 times, he says, and that's why his friends call him the ring finder.
Doing this and holding up somebody's ring and seeing how it affects their life is the best thing I've ever done.
His latest client, Vancouver's Madison Maley, who bought this Cartier bracelet to remember her rowing team's gold medal victory in Tokyo, says it vanished on Thursday while she was out for a bike ride in Stanley Park.
And had it inscribed with Olympic champion, Canadian Women's Aid.
Her husband, Olympian Maxwell Latimer, helped her search up and down without any luck until dark. As a last resort, they picked up the phone.
Okay, so we came around the trail.
Now on the job, the ring finder wasn't thrilled with the odds.
Yeah, it didn't sound good. I mean, how do you actually retrace a bike path and for maybe 2 or 3 miles?
But before they even began to look, the jewel sleuth asked a good 20 minutes worth of questions when something triggered and he knew how to focus the hunt.
Let me just see something.
With Maley at work, the men took the road less traveled where the path narrows near Beaver Lake.
Max, whatever you do, keep focused on the right side, because if we're going to find it, it's going to be on the right side.
And within minutes,
Max looks down and goes.
Max found one half.
And the look at his eyes were like this big.
The ring finder, the other.
He was vibrating. He was so excited because Max really didn't think there was a chance.
I'm shaking.
How does that feel?
We gave up last night.
How's that feel?
Time to tell Maley they played it coy.
I felt like I won the gold medal.
I can't believe it.
By the way, the bracelet wasn't broken. It just needs a couple of screws and is as good as new and back where it belongs. Sin-Jin Alexander, CTV News, Vancouver.
It's Wednesday of a short week. We're going to take you into the rest of your week with CTV Morning Live. Don't go anywhere. Thank you so much for joining us. August 31st is Overdose Awareness Day. So coming up at 7:52, we're chatting with Shared Health about the RAM Clinic. And we're really looking into the numbers, the impact, and all of that at home. First, here's a look at your headlines. Wildfire smoke triggers air quality alerts across Canada. Health officials urge people to stay indoors. Plus, Air Canada flight attendants vote to strike. Could travel plans be disrupted this summer? And a sea of sunflowers for Rose. One woman's community shows their love in full bloom. Well, there might actually be some rain today, from what I understand, Terry, to help out those flowers.
That's right. A little bit of rain and the humidity. As somebody who spent extra 10 minutes on my hair this morning, not an extra 10 minutes, but 10 minutes probably on my hair this morning, I can tell you that was a waste. Don't bother. Throw it in a ponytail. It's going to be hot and humid today, and that humidity is the big thing that you're going to notice when you step outside. It's 17 degrees right now with south-southeast winds, 13 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling and the humidity sitting at 95%. So there's just that dampness that's hanging to the air. And then, of course, there's the smoke hanging in the air across northern Manitoba, and that's the map that I'm showing you now. We've gotten used to this one. Honestly, I feel like since about late May or early June, we pulled out this map and we've been showing it on a daily basis ever since, and it does seem to be most prevalent through northern Manitoba, but that's where we're also going to be seeing a little bit of rain. Right now it's showing up here through kind of central Manitoba, but it will be pushing further up into the north, and you might get some much needed relief in the form of showers, but then there's also the risk of thunderstorms, and nearly everybody could be seeing that as well. And of course, I've been talking that the lightning striking dry areas could be hazardous, but we welcome every bit of rain that might come with this system. So there you can see, especially later on into the afternoon, very kind of scattered, speckled showers, possible thunderstorms, and that's how the day will play out for today, along with the heat and the humidity. Then it clears out overnight, and for tomorrow things are looking a little bit clearer, a little bit drier, but another round of rain is possible for us. There you can see early Friday morning that we could get clipped again with another bit moving throughout the day. So throughout this week, the temperatures will be on the rise. 26 degrees is normal. The next couple of days will be above seasonal, then back to normal with that end week rain, and then slightly cooler, only by a degree or so as we're looking ahead to the weekend and continuing into next week. It was Brady, 12 years old, that drew our picture, and how fitting for today when we're expecting all of the active weather. Thanks you, Brady, for this one. And we'd love to see your art, so draw, color, or paint for us, and then email that picture to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
Thanks, Terry. A man who RCMP say was let out of the back of a cruiser during his arrest has been rearrested. 30-year-old Robert Easter is back in custody 2 weeks after he was initially arrested in Chemawawin Cree Nation. Mounties say that he was found Monday inside of a shed in the community. He's charged with escaping custody in addition to some earlier charges of failure to comply with a release order. Police previously said that a 28-year-old woman helped him escape, and she is also facing charges. Environment and Climate Change Canada is reporting a tornado touchdown last night near the community of Bellevue, about 30 kilometers south of Verdun. ECCCC says that the report came in at around 8:45 p.m. So far, there are no reports of any damage caused by the tornado, and no other information is currently available. Wildfires continue to burn throughout Manitoba, forcing thousands to flee south. That includes people from Nisitawayasik Cree Nation, located at Nelson House. Many are now in Winnipeg after leadership ordered a full evacuation order over the weekend. As CTV's Alex Karpa shows you now, some of the evacuees are frustrated to be out of their homes once again.
Large plumes of smoke near the community of Nisitawayasik Cree Nation in northern Manitoba has now forced hundreds to flee south.
That is very frustrating. Oh my God, I can't believe it.
Felicia Wetman left her home on Sunday and arrived later that night in Winnipeg. When she arrived, she learned that her suitcase was lost during the evacuation, leaving her with nothing but the clothes on her back.
I was so mad and angry. I just wanted to leave. I almost started crying.
A mandatory evacuation order was issued by Chief and Council over the weekend. Susan Wood says she didn't have a lot of time to get out, which caused her a lot of stress.
It's scary, especially for our little ones.
Wood was assisting in the firefight before she left. She says the situation changes day by day, bringing forth unprecedented challenges for fire crews.
Those tree pots, once they burn, they turn red and they pop like popcorn. Those are the ones that create hot spots.
Manitoba is in the midst of one of its worst wildfire seasons in 3 decades. Over 1.55 million hectares have burned in the province this year. Sheila North, a former Manitoba Grand Chief, says as evacuees pour south, more needs to be done to support them.
You know, we're calling on hotels and hotels associations, but we should also possibly be calling on landowners and people that own buildings and developers to see what they can do to step up.
With little to no hotel rooms available in Winnipeg, the thousands of evacuees from Nisitawayasik most likely will have to stay at congregate shelters throughout the city, which both Wetman and Wood say is very uncomfortable. Alex Karpa, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Getting out into nature is a summer ritual, but for many in our province, the threat of wildfires has forced a dramatic move. While nearly every part of the country has faced the effects of the flames, from people forced to flee from their homes to those staying inside to avoid the smoke. On Monday, Nova Scotia announced this new ban.
We're telling Nova Scotians, stay out of the woods. We are restricting travel and activities that really aren't necessary. Hiking, camping, fishing, and the use of vehicles in the woods are not permitted.
Some trails in the province are now blocked off, though there is a split, it seems, on whether the move goes too far.
As long as you're not starting a fire or smoking, you know, that kind of thing, you should be able to walk there.
It kind of sucks for the campers and anybody out tenting, but it's probably necessary.
The closures will stay in place until prolonged rain reduces the fire danger. Violating the ban can result in a $25,000 fine. Smoke from Canadian wildfires is causing serious air quality concerns across parts of this country and the U.S. The national forecast has been improving as a major smoke cloud moves northeast. Montreal and Toronto had some of the worst air quality in the world over the weekend.
Avoid being outside for too long and do stuff in the morning and the evening when it's not so bad.
I just love being outdoors. Actually, it's not that bad.
This hasn't stopped me from doing anything.
Health experts advise limiting outdoor activities during high-risk days. Air Canada flight attendants have voted overwhelmingly in favor of a strike.
In a 10-year collective agreement that we came out of March 31st of 2025, and it's basically the wage structure, the unpaid wage portion, and just work rules that need to change.
The union, representing over 10,000 workers, says that it was 99.7% in favor of a strike if necessary. The vote comes after contract talks with the airline ended without a deal. The union says that workers could strike as early as August 16th. The UN's Assistant Secretary General says that the possibility of Israel expanding operations in Gaza is deeply alarming.
This would risk catastrophic consequences for millions of Palestinians and could further endanger the lives of the remaining hostages in Gaza.
He also warns it would endanger the lives of even more Palestinians and Israeli hostages being held by Hamas. Israeli media has reported that President Benjamin Netanyahu plans to meet his security cabinet tomorrow to propose a full reoccupation of Gaza. U.S. President Donald Trump was asked if he'd support that plan. Trump said that he wasn't aware of the suggestion and that, quote, it's going to be pretty much up to Israel. A woman in southwest Ontario is soaking up the glow of sunflowers planted in her honor.
Means a lot to me for ALS research. We just did a walk and raised $8,000, and this just makes it better, and blossoms mean a lot to me.
Rose Shannon was recently diagnosed with ALS and has lost the use of her voice. For years, she worked at Klotzen Farms, where they've now grown sunflowers for her. Rose is considered more than their co-worker. She's family. Guests are invited to come for pictures or to pick bouquets while making a donation to the ALS Society of Canada. Here's a live look at Portage Avenue. It looks like pretty quiet at 7:09 this morning. Let us know if you see any delays. CTV Morning WPG. Daniel Holmerson joins us from Folklorama and our trip around the world that we do for 2 weeks here at CTV Morning Live. Good morning, Danny.
Good morning, Ainsley. Good morning, Winnipeg. We're at the British Isles Pavilion, and I'm hanging out by the cultural displays right now. Kind of feel like I'm at home. We got sports, we got scotch, we got a Mr. Bean box set. I am in heaven right now, Ainsley, and the next couple hours we have plenty of other stuff to check out. We're going to head back to the pub, try a couple of the mocktails they have here at the Pavilion at 7:42. We're going to take in some Highland dancing just after 8 o'clock. We'll learn a little bit more about these cultural displays, the different countries, England, Wales, Scotland, the north of Ireland. Plenty of culture, plenty of history, and then we'll wrap things up in the 8 o'clock hour with some dancing, Irish dancing at that, from the McConnell School of Dance. So stick around for our trip to the northwestern coast of Europe and the British Isles.
Thanks, Danny. Upstairs, Terry, it looks like the sun is glistening.
It just came out from behind the clouds. Honestly, we had just adjusted the light and then we were coming to me and all of a sudden that sun comes out. It is bright right now, but yeah, only because it's right at eye level. This is the thing about it rising a little bit later each day, is that now at this time, I need the sunglasses on. Once it gets a little bit higher, it won't be quite so bad. But right now, yeah, it is pretty blindingly bright. 18 degrees is where we're sitting right now with south-southeast winds, 15 kilometers per hour. Pressure falling, the humidity sitting at 92%, and suddenly I'm back in the shade again. Those clouds moved just in front. And you can see the difference that makes to the light. Let's talk about this. The rain that fell yesterday, almost 5 millimeters, according to my rain gauge there. I'm going to be dumping this out now and getting ready for another round of rain today. welcome that. It's still been dry. We need the rain, so we'll likely see throughout the province today. Hopefully I put that up straight. Last night it was a little bit cockeyed, so we might have actually got a little more than 5 millimeters that it collected. Anyway, the chance of showers or thunderstorms across the entire province today. It's going to be a warm one. Mid to high 20s are expected, so hot, humid, maybe a little soggy, maybe a little bit stormy, and then things will be clearing out overnight with a drier day ahead tomorrow. But tomorrow could be an even hotter day. Now, while it's seeming fresh and clear here in the south today with no smoke warnings in place, they do remain across parts of northern Manitoba, and a shift in those winds could unfortunately perhaps bring more of that smoke back in again tomorrow. We'll keep our fingers crossed that it does stay a little bit clear. But the rest of this week, expect the heat to stick around and then dipping only slightly for the weekend.
CTV Morning Live weather brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Same-day oil and tire changes.
It's time for us to let you know about the question of the day. We wanted to ask you guys, what's the one must-have dish at your summer barbecue, and who's the grill master in your family? Our question of the day has moved from Twitter, so we want you to text your answer, please, along with your name, 10400. Make sure to follow the automated instructions so we can feature your response. At CTV Morning Live, we're all about celebrating your amazing pets, and whether they're furry, feathered, or scaly, your Pet of the Week submissions have been amazing. We want to see even more of them. Whether it's dogs, cats, birds, or any other pet pals, send them to us. Drop your pet photos and a fun little story about them to petoftheweek@ctv.ca. Catch us every Thursday between 6 and 9 to find out if your pet is the Pet of the Week on CTV Morning Live. And there will be more CTV Morning Live coming up after this short break. Stay with us. Good morning. Leo Ledochowski, the founder of Canada Inns, Manitoba's largest hotel chain, has died. Both Premier Wab Kinew and Winnipeg Mayor Scott Gillingham posted tributes to Ledochowski on social media. Ledochowski was an outspoken leader in Manitoba's hospitality industry. He served on the board of the Hotel Association of Canada for nearly 30 years. He was also a leader in Manitoba's Ukrainian community. Ledochowski founded Canada Inns in the late 70s. There are now Canada Inns centers in Winnipeg, Portage la Prairie, Brandon, and Grand Forks. The company also owns the Metropolitan Entertainment Center, downtown, and 9 Tavern United restaurants. Ledochowski was invested into the Order of Manitoba in 2022, recognizes his contributions to healthcare, children's sports, United Way, and the Canadian Museum for Human Rights. Prime Minister Mark Carney has addressed the new increased American tariffs, announced new financial support for the softwood lumber sector.
We will be our own best customer by relying more on Canadian lumber, Canadian softwood for Canadian projects.
The $1.2 billion package includes funding for loan guarantees and long-term support to help companies diversify their export markets. With no timeline for a new deal or any tariff reprieve, Carney told reporters in BC that he will speak to U.S. President Donald Trump, quote, when it makes sense. On Friday, the U.S. hit Canada with a 35% tariff on goods not compliant with CUSMA. Tariff rates for Canadian steel, aluminum, and copper remain at 50%. Hiroshima is marking the 80th anniversary of the atomic bombing of the city. It was August 6th of 1945 that the uranium bomb instantly killed about 78,000 people. And by the end of that year, the number of dead, including from radiation exposure, reached about 140,000. A fictional world has come to life in the town of Knowlton, Quebec.
This village of Three Pines, a fictional village, was my ideal bakery, my ideal bookshop, my ideal everything. So this whole design, I write about 2 fireplaces, and it's really cool.
Louise Penny's wildly successful mystery novels take place in Three Pines, and she owns Cafe Three Pines. Like her novels, the cafe is meant to be a love letter to the eastern townships. Penny says that realizing its vision took more than 20 years. Some of the menu items even come from Penny's own family recipes. Taking a look at the current traffic situation around Osborne Street. Smooth in this stretch of town. If you have any traffic tips or updates to share, send us when it's safe and legal. CTV Morning, WPG.
CTV Morning Live traffic brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. No appointment needed.
In entertainment, get ready to let it go. Rainbow Stage's production of the hit Disney musical Frozen kicks off this week. Follow Anna, Kristoff, and Olaf as they set out on an epic adventure to rescue Anna's sister Elsa, whose icy powers have trapped the land in eternal winter. And of course, you can expect to hear all of your favorite songs, such as Let It Go, Do You Want to Build a Snowman, and Love is an Open Door.
A little bit of both. Yeah. Extra pressure, extra fun. Just because they are such classics.
And kids are tough critics.
They are.
So, you know, they're not, they're going to expect a certain caliber of performance, I think, and we're hoping to bring that to them.
Frozen runs August 7th to 24th, and Rainbow Stage says that tickets are going fast. This Sunday's matinee performance has already sold out. Head to rainbowstage.ca for more details and tickets. There's more than just a Little Monsters in the second season.
Wednesday Addams, it is an honor to meet the savior of Nevermore.
Can I get your autograph? I only signed my name in blood. I would expect nothing less. I never said it was my own blood.
This is the first time you've ever...
Part 1 of Wednesday is officially out today. Lady Gaga not only has a guest role in the second season, but will also have a song. Dead Dance is expected to be released next month to go with Part 2 of the show. Lady Gaga will be playing a teacher at Nevermore. Wednesday Part 2 will arrive on September 3rd. Beat those midweek blues with MasterChef at 7, followed by Gordon Ramsay's Secret Service and Battle of the Generations. Wrap it up at night with Match Game at 10. It's all right here on CTV. Terry joining us once again. Outside, you said it felt muggy, didn't it?
Yeah, it really does. The humidity this morning, it's a real thing. We were noticing it even here within the station. I think we need a dehumidifier or something. Anyway, looking outside through the Bath Fitter Live Eye. Bath Fitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. Now, the thing about it is we most definitely need that precipitation that's coming. We got a little bit yesterday. That was nice to see, almost 5 millimeters, according to my rooftop rain gauge, which I will mention again, was at a bit of an angle, so I don't think that's 100% accurate of a reading, but still, it was nice to get a little round of rain and another round to come today. Could include some thunderstorms. More than just showers are possible. Here's a look first at the temperatures this morning, and it's an above seasonal start to your Wednesday. 18 degrees right now in Winnipeg, Portage, Brandon. Just for a reference point, 13 degrees. That's normal for this time of year, but everybody is above that. We got some 19 showing up here in the southeastern corner and in Kenora. And even warmer, 20 degrees to begin the day. For northern Manitoba, high teens for you as well. But it's not just warm, it's still incredibly smoky throughout the north. And as a result, the heavy smoke warnings remaining in place that Environment Canada has issued. Not just through the north, they still linger down along this east-central border. Right down into the advisory that they kind of blur into. Now, air quality is a lot better for us here in the south, and yes, there is that chance of more precipitation today. Here's a look at it here on the satellite image with the showers and thunderstorms firing off. You can see all of the little lightning bolts in there as well. Right up into northern Manitoba, that risk is there for the thunderstorms, which again, lightning on the dry conditions, not ideal, but rain we will welcome for sure. Here's a look at how the temperatures will be on the rise today, and yes, it's going to be a warm one, heading up into those high mid-20s all across the province today. That chance of precipitation is there, but it clears out overnight, and tomorrow a drier but even warmer day. However, the smoke could be moving back as these winds start to shift. Oh, and our little weather picture today, how cute is this? Standing tall at attention, look on the lookout for who knows what. Out at Riding Mountain National Park, that's where Renee spotted this little guy. And thanks for the photo. Keep them coming, please, to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
Thanks, Terry. Canadian medical experts say that measles transmission in our country continues to soar. And as CTV's Pauline Chan tells us, it could result in Canada losing its status in a matter of weeks as a country where measles has been eliminated.
Canada was declared to have eliminated measles in 1998.
So measles elimination is defined by the World Health Organization, and it means that within a certain geographical area, in this case Canada, that there is no sustained transmission of measles over a 12-month period.
Jana Shapiro from the University of Toronto says it doesn't mean there were zero cases, just no sustained transmission.
And now that we've seen a resurgence in the past year or so in Canada, we are at risk of losing that elimination elimination status in 2025.
10 of our 13 provinces and territories have seen cases. Alberta has over 1,600 cases of measles, and Ontario has seen more than 2,300.
We really had our bulk of our cases in kind of March, April, but that's not yet the case in Alberta. I think there's still quite a few new cases being reported on a weekly basis.
Many of the cases sprang from a single event in New Brunswick last October, which led to transmission in other provinces.
I have a lot of concerns, very deep concerns, professionally, foremost, and also personally. Professionally, because measles is truly the most contagious virus that you can come in contact with.
Michelle Canor was diagnosed with measles in May and was hospitalized for several days despite getting a vaccination decades ago. And as a teacher, she worries about measles spread.
Average 32 kids in a classroom in city schools. It would be a really dangerous thing to have classrooms of children taken out by the measles. And most will manage it. Most will be able to be resilient and overcome it, but some may not.
Shapiro says Canada could lose its measles eliminated status as early as October and says public health vaccination efforts must continue. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
It's that time of year again. CTV, along with Chicken Chef, want to see how you're soaking up the Manitoba summer. Whether it's concerts, golf, or getaways, share your best photo with us. We've seen some pretty amazing moments so far, and now it's your turn to shine. Share your favorite summer photo for a chance to win the $5,000 grand prize. On top of that, there are daily draws where you can also score the $50 Chicken Chef gift certificates. Plus, you could win a stylish fire table and patio umbrella from Discount Furniture Winnipeg. So snap and share your summer magic with us. Coming up after the break, Danny's getting his breakfast on at Folklorama. Don't go anywhere. The British Isles Pavilion is one of more than 40 at this year's Folklorama. Daniel Halmerson joins us, and he's going to have some food and drink with him, I hope. Good morning.
Absolutely, Ainsley. You know, tried some dessert earlier. Now I'm going to try a mocktail. I'm joined by McGuire Bueller, one of the other ambassadors here at the British Isles Pavilion. Good morning.
Good morning.
You're whipping up a mocktail for me. What are we drinking this morning?
So today I'm going to make you an elderflower fizz.
Perfect. Why don't you get started there and kind of walk me through, and if someone at home has some elderflower cordial, maybe they'll pour themselves a drink too.
Of course. So we start with an ounce of the elderflower syrup, or the cordial, and then we're going to add a splash of lemon juice in here. Oh. An extra splash, you know.
There we go.
And then we're going to top it off with some club soda for that fizz.
Perfect. And if someone doesn't want a mocktail, if they are in the mood for an alcoholic drink, do you have this available with booze?
Yes, of course. So if we want to do this as a cocktail, we can add some vodka to it. But if you want to give it a sip, it's quite delicious.
Oh, that's really good. Really refreshing. First thing in the morning. It's a good way to start the day. What are some of the other drink options here?
So we got a nice variety. Of course, we've got the Scotch whiskeys, and then we've got a Guinness. Of course, can't go wrong with the Guinness. And one of my favorite shots is the Shamrock Shake. So it has the creme de menthe and then Bailey's in it, and it's a nice little like chocolatey, minty. It tastes like an after eight. It's so delicious.
That sounds great. Now, little short on time, but tell me, you've been volunteering at Folklorama for a long time. What's your favorite part of Folklorama?
It's always the show. I'm one of the performers as well, and I just love getting to share all the cultural dances, and the performance is always so fun and a highlight of the evening.
Awesome. Well, coming up in 15 minutes, we will see some of the Highland dancing here at the British Isles Pavilion, so stick around for that, Ainsley.
Can't wait. Thank you so much. Terry, outside, you've talked about it being muggy, but the smoke as well. How bad is it?
Here in the south, it's not too bad. In fact, we're looking at 21 kilometers visibility right now, which is almost as good as it gets. I mean, on a perfectly clear day, we would be looking at 24 kilometers of visibility. So to be at 21, that's great, especially compared to there have been days where the smoke has been really heavy, and we've been down to 5, even as low as 3 kilometers visibility. So No warnings in place here across the south. I'll show you where they are in just a second. 18 degrees right now, and you can see we do have some heavier clouds hanging over us. South-southeast winds are 15 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling and the humidity is sitting at 92%. So the heavy smoke is across northern Manitoba, all of the north, and then through parts of east central Manitoba. If it's not that, it's the air quality advisory. But for the most part, just heavy smoke is still lingering in that part of the province. Now, maybe some relief to come today with the chance of some showers, but there's also the risk of thunderstorms. And there you can see the activity right now showing up on the satellite image. Here in Winnipeg, we too have the chance of showers or thunderstorms today. 27 degrees. It will be a warm one. It's a very muggy one already. And these winds today will be getting stronger out of the southwest and at times gusting to 40 kilometers per hour. Still with that west wind overnight, at times gusting to 40 clicks as the conditions clear and the temperature falls to an above seasonal 17. 13 a normal low, 26 a seasonal daytime high. We'll be surpassing that number again tomorrow, getting up to 29 degrees with a mix of sun and cloud. You might notice a little more of that smoke moving in tomorrow. 26 on Friday with another round of rain to finish the week, and then temperatures only dropping slightly. Will be about a degree or two below seasonal as we look ahead to the weekend.
Thank you, Terry. Fire crews working in the Snow Lake area were helped by cool weather, according to the update from the town issued on Monday. The update said that crews continued to work in and around Snow Lake, focusing on strengthening containment lines and cleaning up fire extensions to the north and south of the community, particularly around the Lawler Mine and the golf course. With favorable conditions, crews are taking full advantage of the weather to ensure value protection units are strategically placed ahead of the forecasted wind shift. And the town also reports crews in the Snow Lake area have observed an unusual fire-related weather phenomenon, one which formations called pyrocumulus clouds develop over fire areas. The extreme heat causes air to rise rapidly, creating thunderstorm-like formations. This example was photographed over Fire 52 near Snow Lake. These formations can bring lightning and strong, unpredictable winds, making fire situations even more challenging. Canada's Privacy Commissioner has launched an investigation into a cyber attack targeting WestJet. The airline warned passengers in June about some personal and travel-related data being stolen. The breach, which was the first made public on June 13th, involved a, quote, sophisticated criminal third party, according to a company update posted online on July 18th. The airline said no credit or debit card numbers and no user passwords were obtained, though some personal and travel-related data was accessed. The UN's Assistant Secretary General says that the possibility of Israel expanding operations in Gaza is deeply alarming.
This would risk catastrophic consequences for millions of Palestinians and could further endanger the lives of the remaining hostages in Gaza.
He also warned it would endanger the lives of even more Palestinians and Israeli hostages being held by Hamas. Israeli media has reported that President Benjamin Netanyahu plans to meet his security cabinet tomorrow to propose a full reoccupation of Gaza. U.S. President Donald Trump was asked if he'd support that plan. Trump said that he wasn't aware of this suggestion and said that, quote, it's going to be pretty much up to Israel. A roadside stop on a highway in Brazil led police to seize gold worth more than 15 million Canadian dollars. More than 100 solid gold bars were found hidden inside this pickup truck in the largest seizure ever by the country's highway police. The driver, who was traveling with his wife and baby, is under arrest. Investigators suspect that the gold may have been on its way to Venezuela or Guyana. Have you ever wanted to hitch a ride to space? How about launching just your name into orbit?
Chip will be affixed like that, and we'll send it to space so your name gets to come with us.
Your name could be on a Falcon 9 rocket, thanks to students at the University of Alberta. They're building a satellite called the X-Alta 3. It will orbit Earth and monitor ice and snow coverage in Canada, contributing to wildfire and climate research. The X-Alta 3 project will cost $500,000, but the crowdfunding campaign is inviting donors to send their name to space in a chip. It will cost you $100 for one name or $200 for 3 names. The students will have their own names hidden within the circuits. Many consider him a visionary who transformed Winnipeg's historic Exchange District, and now a street in the neighborhood bears his name.
Our father loved Winnipeg. He loved its history. He loved its elegance, and he loved its gritty spirit.
A section of Lombard Avenue near Waterfront Drive was renamed Monty Nathanson Way after the real estate developer who passed away last year. Nathanson is credited with redeveloping numerous historic properties and helped reshape the Exchange District and downtown Winnipeg. According to his family, Nathanson was a visionary who saw potential in neglected buildings.
Monty went on to develop hotels, shopping centers, office buildings, senior living homes, restaurants, and even parking lots. He loved it. He was always on the move. But it wasn't just about the deal for him. He always said he had a feeling for it. He saw possibilities in that not everyone might see.
Nathanson's company, United Equities Group, remains a family-run business which owns and manages properties in Winnipeg and across Canada. Taking a look at the St. James Bridge right now, it is 7:36 and volumes look good so far. CTV Morning WPG is where you can find us. Your gas prices now, the Canadian average stands at $1.37. The provincial average is slightly lower, $1.34. And in Winnipeg, the average is $1.35. Lowest price in the city, $1.27. All this info is on gasbuddy.com.
Price at the pump brought to you by kidneycard.ca. Get a free tow and a tax receipt for value of your car. CTV Morning Live is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
All right, happy to see my flowers are looking a little bit better today. They did get a bit of a dosing yesterday when the showers rolled through. My rain gauge was showing just under 5 millimeters. It was a little bit cockeyed, so maybe we got a little more than that. But another round of rain is expected today. Starting out, the humidity is high, so just brace yourself for that. We've got some warm temperatures to kick us off as well. 18 degrees is where we're sitting. That's our coolest temperature from last night, when 13 is in fact a normal low. Along with that 18 degrees, there's just the slightest bit of a breeze. A south-southeast wind, 15 clicks with the pressure falling, and yes, that humidity sitting up there at 92%. We've been watching the clouds kind of coming in and out. At the moment, there's a bit of sunshine that's been able to break through, and I'm seeing pockets of blue sky above. But on the satellite image, we've been keeping our eye on the showers and the thunderstorms, and I am seeing some darker clouds, especially looking just off to the west. Across the entire province, that risk is there, some showers or some thunderstorms. And I say risk because, I mean, obviously we need the rain, but what we don't need is lightning striking those dry areas, and the possibility is there today. So everybody could be seeing some precipitation. We'll keep our fingers crossed for another good round of rain.
Thanks, Terry. Folklorama has it all, and once your belly is full, you're going to want to watch some entertainment. Highland dancing is on the docket for the British Isles Pavilion. Danny joins us now.
Yeah, I'm hanging out on stage with the Susan French School of Highland Dance, and I'm joined by Susan French herself. Now, Susan, what differentiates Highland dancing from the pack?
Well, Highland dance is actually an ancient dance of war. It's said that warriors would perform this dance before battle or after battle as a celebratory dance. Of course, things have changed over time now, and now dancers compete in competitions across the world.
If someone's coming down to Folklorama and taking in one of these performances, what can they expect?
A little bit of a mix. We've tried to incorporate some of traditional Highland dancing, traditional steps, as well as choreography. We let the kids pick some of their favorite moves and stuff that they like to enjoy and perform on stage.
And how many dancers do you have performing at Folklorama this year?
I have 15 dancers on the stage this year, so.
And all ages, really, which is one of the really cool things I think about Folklorama, is you see all different people of all different ages embracing culture.
Yes, exactly. Our youngest here, she's 4 years old. She got up this morning for this performance and was performing last night on stage at 9:45, and all the way to adults.
Wow, and how long have you been involved with the Pavilion for?
I've been involved in the Pavilion for the past 10 years, and I've done Folklorama since I was just a little kid, about 4 or 5 years old.
And so over the years, what's kind of stood out? What's your favorite part of being here at Folklorama?
It's just the mix of cultures and being able to showcase what you do and what you love for everyone to see.
Perfect. Well, why don't we get out of the way, and your little warriors here can show us how it's done.
Absolutely.
Well done. A AAA hockey team entirely made up of Indigenous athletes is overseas for elite hockey competitions. Before they left, the team had a special send-off recognizing their nations and families who worked hard to make the trip possible. CTV's Connor Hogg was there.
To play in Germany, that's a dream come true.
A send-off ceremony unlike many that are held for AAA teams of this caliber, and that's by design. The teammates of the First Nations Voyageurs come from all over Canada to play together, breaking barriers on the world stage.
Elite hockey is crazy expensive, and these guys wanted to ensure that our boys get this exposure.
Julianne Yellowbird is the team's self-described momager.
I'm gonna wait for you guys at the airport.
Yellowbird says financial barriers have historically prevented Indigenous players from pursuing hockey. Their nations and sponsors, with the help of fundraisers, are paying this team's way, with players from across the country competing for a spot on the Voyageurs lineup.
Voyageurs on me, Voyageurs on 3. 1, 2, 3, Voyageurs!
Combine that athleticism, but not to forget and put in the forefront that identity piece.
Players say the team is about more to them than just hockey.
I didn't really know much about my culture before, but being on this team got me to many powwows, taught me how to drum, sing, and yeah, just a lot of new things. I just knew we were going to be buds right away, like friends for sure.
Cultural teachings intersecting with elite training.
I think it just helps us grow more as a team together, getting to learn our culture together. It feels like we're a family and more connected to each other because we know the background that we have come from.
Yellowbird says there is already talk about creating a U18 group next year, as well as an all-girls team, so more young athletes can have the same experience.
It just seems like they found a sense of identity with each other I've never seen a group of boys click so well.
There's a lot of nervousness, but I'm also really excited because I get that exposure and I get to see the world.
The Voyageurs are on their way. Connor Hogg, CTV News, Edmonton.
Nikki Reyes in the SportsCenter newsroom with your must-see moment from Tuesday in Fort. We head to Brooklyn. The Wings taking on Liberty. Paige Beckers with the ball, and she puts Stephanie Talbot on skates. Not once, but twice. Sweet moves out of the rookie as she lets Talbot get back into play and then beats her again before knocking down the jumper. That is your must-see moment. Tonight on TSN, we've got a Leagues Cup match between Atlanta and Atlas. Coverage begins at 6:30 p.m. Central. That's all for now from the SportsCenter newsroom. Have a great day.
TSN Must See Moments brought to you by Super Blinds and Draperies, your Hunter Douglas shade provider for over 40 years. CTV Morning Live Weather is brought to you by Destination Dinner Stage, Manitoba's only musical dinner theater.
All right, the sun just coming back out again. Has been playing peekaboo a little bit with this cloud here. I've got my rain gauge all set up and ready to collect. Bit of precipitation is on the way today, and it's not just here in Winnipeg or in southern Manitoba, right up into northern Manitoba where it is most definitely needed. Some showers, maybe some thunderstorms that will be passing through. 18 degrees right now, so an above seasonal start to the day with 13 degrees being normal. We've been a fistful above that all morning long. It will be a warm one today as we push up into the high 20s, and you're going to notice that humidity as well. The winds also, they're out of the south-southeast right now, 15 kilometers per hour, but they'll likely be increasing throughout the afternoon. That pressure falling and the humidity sitting at 92%. And yes, the sun having a moment for now, but we've been watching it in and out from behind these clouds all morning long, with some even darker looking clouds off to the west, and we've been keeping our eye on the satellite image. That's where the storms are moving right now. I welcome the rain. All of us do, I'm sure. It's the thunderstorms that can be a little touch and go with the lightning striking dry areas that can be a little bit hazardous, but still, bring it on, Mother Nature. We could use every drop that falls.
Thank you, Terry. As we approach Overdose Awareness Day on August 31st, we're shining a spotlight on the toxic drug crisis that continues to devastate communities across Manitoba and Canada. Since 2016, more than 52,000 people have died from an apparent opioid toxicity, an average of 20 lives lost every single day. The Rapid Access to Addictions Medicine Clinic assists people with substance issues in our community. Dr. Erin Knight, the medical lead for RAM, joins us now. Good morning, Dr. Erin.
Good morning.
Tell us a bit about RAM for folks who aren't familiar.
Yeah, RAM clinics in Manitoba opened starting in 2018, so we've been around for a few years now. Really, the concept is low barrier access to addiction care. So every RAM clinic across Manitoba has an interdisciplinary team. We have walk-in hours, and people can just walk in without an appointment or without a referral and see anybody as part of our team. So that might be the physician, the nurse, the counselor, sometimes a peer with lived experience as well.
What's been the most integral piece of it?
I think the biggest piece is just the accessibility today for not only a medical assessment, so for medications to help with cravings and withdrawal, but also to be able to do referrals to either detox programs or treatment programs all in one visit.
Yeah, so how does that work if somebody is interested in seeking help? You'll refer them to other agencies? You work close together?
Yeah, we work closely with all of the treatment agencies within Manitoba, mostly with the publicly funded ones, but there are some private ones as well. So if people are requiring withdrawal management services, we can ensure that they get connected to the right level of service. And if they're looking at going into like a live-in treatment program, we can arrange that as well and be able to provide some support in the interim while they're waiting for that.
I mentioned some numbers off the top. It's difficult to stomach. This is something that is challenging so many parts of our healthcare. In Manitoba, what is the state of it right now?
We have, unfortunately, in Manitoba, continued to see rises in substance-related deaths year over year. We have relatively recently gotten updated numbers for the total number of substance-related deaths in 2023. They're the highest we've ever seen at 568, which is comparable to other places within the country that are having crises related to substance use. So we don't see ourselves in the news so much related to substance-related deaths, but we really are being impacted by the same level of crisis.
Would you say part of that's because of the stigma?
It can be, certainly in terms of preventing people from accessing care or preventing people from talking to their loved ones about what they're struggling with. Part of it is also that we're dealing with a very toxic drug supply currently, and so even people who don't necessarily have a substance use disorder or really problematic substance use are still at risk of drug-related deaths because of the toxicity of the drug supply.
With the Overdose Awareness Day coming up on the 31st, before we're at a time here, anything else you want people to know, really?
Yeah, I think certainly for people wanting access to treatment, RAM is a good place. For people who are just using substances and aren't ready to change that, just making sure that you're using in as safe a way as possible, accessing things like drug testing that are available within Winnipeg, making sure you have naloxone kits, and making sure that the people around you have them and know how to use them as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time and continuing to raise awareness for this difficult issue. Coming up at 8:06, our Daniel Homerson is live at Folklorama at the British Isles Pavilion. What can he be doing there? It's time for Let's Celebrate. Let's see who's having a celebration today. Happy 5th birthday to Aspen. Love from your little sissy, mommy and daddy. Happy 5th birthday to Juliet. Lots of love from grandma and grandpa. Happy belated 9th birthday to Amelia. Love mom, dad, and Noah. Happy birthday to the famous Sailor Bull with love from mom, dad, grandma, Benjamin, Jace, Tay, Ivan, and Noah. Happy birthday and much love to Keyshawn from the love of your life. Happy birthday, Peyton. Love mom, dad, Drayden, Jaden, Layton, and Jordan. All the best to Joan, celebrating your 101 beautiful years. From all of your family and friends at Sturgeon Creek Fun. If someone you care about is having a birthday, anniversary, retirement, or graduation, let's celebrate. To submit your celebration, visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. Fill out the form at least 2 days in advance. It will also enter you for our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift certificate to Party Stuff.
Let's Celebrate, brought to you by Party Stuff, 3 Winnipeg locations and at partystuff.ca.
Good morning, Manitoba. Manitoba, and happy Wednesday. Happy Hump Day. Coming up this hour, the Spence Neighborhood Association is doing a community cleanup, but it's not just the association, it's their kids as little as 5, 6 years old who are helping make the community shine. So we'll have those details coming up. First, here's a look at your headline. Displaced again, wildfire evacuees return to Winnipeg after only a short time back in their home community. Could Air Canada workers go from walking the aisle to walking the picket line? What's next after their vote to strike? And this disused grain elevator is taking on a new role as a graphic commemoration of a district farming heritage. Outside, Terry, muggy, but the smoke seems to have cleared, at least in this part of the city.
That's right. Southern Manitoba, we are not under any of those heavy smoke warnings, but it's a totally different scenario up across parts of northern Manitoba. Unfortunately, those warnings still in place. Ooh, it's looking dark out there right now. Maybe it's just the angle that we're at, but still 18 degrees, south-southeast winds, 15 clicks. The pressure is falling, the humidity sitting at 92%. We'll take a look at a second at the satellite image and see how close those storms might be with that dark sky out there. But first, yes, we'll talk about the smoke because northern Manitoba remains under that heavy smoke warning, and not just northern Manitoba. Parts of right along the eastern border, east central Manitoba, and it runs into the slightly downgraded advisory, but still it will be a little bit hazy there. We're back up to like 20-some kilometers visibility, which is pretty ideal, 24 kind of being your best scenario. So no situation regarding the smoke for us, but there is the activity regarding the precipitation, which we need. We will welcome, especially more of that rain. You can see a few thunderbolts or lightning bolts firing off with that. So the possibility of more than just showers. Some storms could be passing through as well, getting even more active into the afternoon. And this will be top to bottom right across the entire province today. It will likely be clearing out overnight, sunnier, but even hotter conditions tomorrow. And then another round of rain is possible as we're looking to the end of the week on Friday, with hot temperatures through the rest of this week, or at least seasonal or above, and then dipping only slightly. 26 degrees for a reference point. That is what is normal for this time of year. A stormy picture to match our weather for today. Thanks to Brady for this one. And keep the pictures coming, please. We'd love to see your art, and you can email it to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
Thank you, Terry. Environment and Climate Change Canada is reporting a tornado touchdown last night. It happened east of the community of Bellevue, about 30 kilometers south of Verdun. ECCC says that the report of the touchdown came in at around 8:45 p.m. So far, there are no reports of any damage caused by the tornado, and no other information is currently available. For the second time in as many months, people from the Northern First Nation have been forced out due to the threat of wildfires and what's shaping up to be a historically bad season. Nisitziwayasik Cree Nation, located at Nelson House, is home to some 4,000 people. The community is located directly west of Thompson. As you can see, there are at least 2 places in either direction where wildfire is creeping towards Highway 391. On Sunday, residents were told to pack up and head to Winnipeg's RBC Convention Center. Some evacuees we spoke with on Monday morning lamented the fact that they were barely home for a week before being evacuated again. To make matters worse, some said that their bags with all their clothing and other items went missing at some point during the journey to Winnipeg.
Very frustrating. I was so mad and angry. I just wanted to leave. I almost started crying because those are my kids' clothes, and I just bought them when I was in Saskatchewan the first time I got evacuated. And I spent so much money on those clothes for my kids.
We'd like to go to hotel rooms with our children. We're tired of being huddled up here, and the kids are getting sick, elders are getting sick, everyone is getting sick.
It's not known yet how many residents have left the community or how long it will be before they're able to head back. It's the latest update. The province says that 165 fires are currently burning in Manitoba. That's 38 more than this time last week. There have been 401 wildfires to date, way more than the 299 average for this time of year. Air Canada's flight attendants have voted overwhelmingly in favor of strike action. The Canadian Union of Public Employees says that its members voted 99.7% in favor of a strike if necessary. So what does that mean? It could allow them to issue a 72-hour strike notice as early as August 16th if the bargaining team decides to call for it. The airline and the union have been in contact talks since the start of the year. The union represents over 10,000 flight attendants at Air Canada and Air Canada Rouge. A concrete wall in North Dakota is getting a huge brush of new color.
By creating such a big work on a building like this, it's really quite a spectacle.
Artist Guido Van Houten is bringing his stunning artistic abilities to another big stage. He does most of his work 23 meters above the ground on the former Union silos in the city of Minot. Van Houten has done a number of gigantic murals across the globe, with earlier projects including a mural on a dam in Australia and a former cooling tower in the Chernobyl nuclear plant in Ukraine. As you can imagine, it's not a quick process. Van Houten says that he initially meets with residents to learn about the community and then spends months slowly transforming what usually is the largest structure in a small town. Taking a look at the current traffic situation along St. Mary's Road. Looks like a smooth drive. Any traffic tips or updates, send them to us. CTV Morning WPG on X.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
From Folklorama is our Danny Halmerston, and in the bumper I saw that you had some Harry Potter going on. I think that's what it was.
Yeah, I found out I was a Ravenclaw. I thought I was a Hufflepuff, but nice. I found out last second. In fact, I'm a Ravenclaw. I am joined again by Lou, one of the ambassadors here at the British Isles Pavilion. Lou's going to give us a little bit of a geography lesson. So, British Isles, what are they?
Absolutely. So the British Isles Pavilion is representative of a geographical location called the British Isles. The British Isles encompasses about 6,000 islands, but here at this pavilion we like to focus on mainly Wales, Scotland, the Republic of Ireland, the North of Ireland, and England. But there's about 6,000 islands there.
And with 6,000 islands, there's so much different culture represented. I'm joined also by Vienna, one of the youth ambassadors here. Good morning, Vienna.
Good morning.
You're talking about Waterford Crystal. Now, what is Waterford Crystal?
So it's a crystal found in Ireland, and a good way to tell the difference between a glass bowl and a crystal bowl is by tapping it. So
yeah, let's give this a shot.
And that one is the glass one, and it doesn't sound as good as this one, which sounds kind of like a bell.
That's a great sign. So you want the good ding, not the bad ding when it comes to Waterford Crystal. Now, there's lots of pop culture from my youth, from your youth here. What are we looking at here?
We have Beatrix Potter, who wrote Peter Rabbit, and we also have Paddington Bear.
Very cool. And I was at the Sorting Hat earlier. Now, have you gone through the process as well?
Yes, I'm a Hufflepuff.
You're a Hufflepuff. What about you, McKinley?
I'm a Ravenclaw as well.
And McGuire?
Of course, I'm a proud Slytherin.
And we can't forget about Lou.
I'm a Gryffindor.
Right on. And what else do we have over a little further down there?
We have some music and some jerseys on display.
And as a youth ambassador, what's the best thing about this gig for you?
I like meeting a lot of the other ambassadors and visiting other pavilions. I'm really looking forward to visiting them.
Very cool. Well, I'm looking forward to the McConnell School of Irish Dance coming up at 8:38. One last performance here at the British Isles Pavilion.
Thanks so much, Danny. If you've ever wanted to go to space, pay attention to this next story. Chances are you can't physically go, but your signature could be with a little support for students in Alberta who are launching their newest satellite. Here's CTV's Miriam Valdez-Carletti.
And lift off. Go Falcons, go into ignition.
Your name could be aboard a Falcon 9 rocket. Students at the University of Alberta are creating a satellite that will hitch a ride to space.
We go on a rideshare program, so there's probably 60 or 50 other satellites about this size that are also paying to be on the rocket.
They're building the X Alta 3.
It'll house a student-built imager that we developed for climate change research.
X Alta 3 will orbit Earth and monitor ice and snow coverage in Canada and contribute to wildfire research.
The Canadian government especially is looking into more ways to support climate change research. We know that wildfires are a hot-button issue for a lot of Albertan communities.
The X Alta 3 project will cost $500,000. Part of the crowdfunding campaign includes inviting donors to be a part of the mission through this small chip.
A chip will be affixed like that, and we'll send it to space so your name gets to come with us.
You can pay $100 for one name or $200 for 3. While the satellite is only the size of a loaf of bread, it packs a punch.
But it contains everything. So you have your computer in here, your power. The only thing not pictured on here is some of the surface components.
The students will have their names hidden within the circuits and other components, but it's building X-Alt-3 that makes them excited to launch their careers.
Sending actual hardware that I've designed into space was always a long-term goal for far in the future when I was in my late 20s or 30s or even older.
This is the first opportunity I've ever had to actually participate in a real space mission.
X-Alta-3 will blast off next summer. Miriam Valdez-Carletti, CTV News, Edmonton.
Oh, that's pretty cool. All right. Ooh, look at that. Yeah, the way the sun is hitting the city, that's something else. Do you know what? I will say this. I'll give props to our lighting crew right now, because trying to stay on top of these heavy clouds and the way the sun just keeps peeking out is changing by the second. So here's a look now at those darker clouds through the Bathfitter Live Eye. Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. Honestly, there have been times I've been standing on the roof completely in the shadow of the clouds, and then all of a sudden, within 12 seconds, I'm beaming like the brightest sun that has come out from behind those clouds. So that's pretty much what we're dealing with so far this morning, is that mix of sun and cloud and these well above seasonal temperatures. We're now sitting at 20 degrees from the 18 that was our lowest temperature, and that in itself is well above seasonal. 13 would be a normal low. So all through southern Manitoba, you can see high teens and now some low 20s, and that's pretty much the case through northern Manitoba as well. High teens and a couple of 20-degree temperatures. Now, while the air quality is considerably better here in southern Manitoba, you remain under those heavy smoke warnings through much of northern Manitoba and east central Manitoba. We might see a little bit of relief today because some precipitation is coming. Now, showers we welcome, thunderstorms not so much, and it's because the conditions have been so very dry that what we don't need is lightning strikes sparking up any new fires, but there is the possibility that we get a little bit of both throughout the day today. We're also going to get some heat. As I mentioned, it's already above seasonal right now, and we'll watch by noontime low 20s and into the afternoon some high 20s expected. You couple that with the humidity, and yeah, we're certainly feeling the conditions, all of it, and then that chance of showers or thunderstorms today. Clearing out overnight, an even hotter day expected tomorrow, and then maybe another round of rain to finish off the work week before those temperatures drop a degree below seasonal as we look ahead to the coming weekend. Taking a break right now, but we'll be back with more CTV Morning Live.
Good morning. It's maybe not a miracle, but it's definitely a milestone.
We all lose our jobs if you can't pull off a miracle.
No pressure. None.
F1 the movie has made $546 million worldwide. That's Apple's top-grossing theatrical release of all time, and Brad Pitt's highest-grossing movie ever. It's no secret Ed Sheeran has a lookalike. This is the teaser clip for the song A Little More, featuring Rupert Grint. Look familiar? Grint played Sheeran's doppelganger in the music video Lego House 14 years ago. Now he's back. The song will be featured on Sheeran's upcoming album, Play. The full music video drops tomorrow. Universal Pictures is celebrating 3 decades of Friendly Ghost, the Friendly Ghost.
Hi, I'm Casper.
Oh, look, it's Casper is returning to theaters on October 3rd for the 30th anniversary of the 90s classic film. It's been 30 years since we last saw him on the big screen. Casper was first released in 1995, starring Christina Ricci and Bill Pullman.
Well, we are halfway through summer. It is flying by, but to make the most of the rest of it, we're bringing in lifestyle expert Nikki Anastasaskis is joining us this morning. Nikki, you've got some summer essentials that you're going to be sharing with us to make sure that we're maximizing on the last round of summer.
Yes, good morning. Thank you for having me.
Happy to have you. As I mentioned, I mean, summer is flying by, so tell us how you're making the most of it.
Sun's out, the long weekend is upon us. I want to start off by showing you guys the Quaker Chewy granola bars. These are a family favorite, just in time for back to school season as well. A quick and easy snack. They have the s'mores flavors, the chocolatey chip, and the chocolatey fun. These are made with 100% Canadian whole grain oats in a peanut-free facility, and there are so many different flavors to choose from, as you see here. And then also crispy minis. These are starting to be my favorite because I am dipping more into trying gluten-free delights. So these are gluten-free, popped, never fried, made with whole grain brown rice. And they have their inspired SKUs, which are inspired by Miss Vicky's and Cheetos. So they created the spicy dill pickle flavor and then the cheddar jalapeno. And then their sweet SKUs, this is their newest ones, launched in July. They have apple cinnamon and chocolate flavors to satisfy your sweet tooth this summer. You can purchase these, you know, at Walmart, your local grocery stores, you name it.
Very nice. All right, what's your favorite flavor?
My favorite, I have to say, is the spicy dill pickle. It's really, really good for the crispy minis.
Okay,
Try it.
I'll put that on my list to try for sure. What else are you sharing with us this morning, Nikki?
So I want to move on to Ninja. Ninja is a fan favorite. This is blowing up this summer. You know, summer is not over. There is still 8 weeks left, and the long weekend being around the corner here, this is a great time to get your hands on the Ninja Swirl by Creamy. This ice cream maker can make soft serve, can make scoop ice cream, and you can even do it healthy. So I actually created some protein ice cream. I added some collagen, some protein, some yogurt, and it was really great for the whole family. This is a really great item. You can get it at ninjakitchen.ca. And also when you purchase this machine, it comes with 2 pints. So you can make 2 different types of flavors and put them in your freezer and enjoy them, you know, at any time. You just have to let it freeze for 12 hours and then pop it in the machine.
Brilliant.
So this one is a really great one as well.
Okay, I love that. Adding a little extra protein to my sweet treat. What else have you got on your list of essentials?
So last but not least, I want to talk about items that kind of help you stay cool, dry, comfortable. Starting off with the Shark Flex Freeze Hydro Go Misting Portable Fan. This fan is taking the internet by storm. You may have seen Kris Kardashian recently promoting it. It was an overnight virality. It's a new category for Shark Ninja. This is a portable indoor-outdoor fan. It can give you 70 feet of quiet cooling coverage, and you can use it outdoors, so perfect for, you know, those barbecues, feeling really hot. It has actually a misting feature, so these really fine droplets will keep you cool, and it'll stay charged for 12 hours, not plugged in.
Very nice. And are those outfits behind you there too?
Yeah, last but not least, we have a brand called Bombas. They are a new Canadian brand. They were launched this year in hopes with fighting homelessness. So what's really great is every item you purchase will be donated to homelessness. They match it. Your purchases will also then be matched to donate to homeless shelters. They started this brand by creating socks because those experiencing homelessness are in need of socks. So they started creating these socks, which are really comfortable, help with sweat and, you know, working out in the summer months, and also pretty. And then they also started creating bralettes, boxer briefs, t-shirts, tons of amazing items with durable Peruvian Pima cottage, the crew necks, which I have here.
Where can we check those out?
At bombas.ca.
Very nice. All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing them. And like you said, there's still plenty of summer left to enjoy. Let's get at it with some of these great essentials.
Thank you. Have a great summer, everyone.
It's that time of year again, and CTV, along with Chicken Chef, want to see how you're soaking up the Manitoba summer. Whether it's concerts, golf, or getaways, share your best photo with us. We've seen some amazing moments so far, and now it's your turn to shine. Share your favorite summer photo for a chance to win the $5,000 grand prize. On top of that, there are daily draws where you can also score $50 Chicken Chef gift certificates. Plus, you could win a stylish fire table and a patio umbrella from Discount Furniture Winnipeg. Snap and share your summer magic with us.
All right, I'm now seeing some very dark and ominous looking clouds off to the west, and we've been keeping our eye on the satellite image at the storms that are going to be moving through that area as well. Not just through that area, actually. Throughout the entire province, the risk is there of some thunderstorms, and then of course the showers, which we will welcome because it's been so dry and we could use a little more. Even after the almost 5 millimeters fell yesterday, another round of rain would be quite welcome. 20 degrees is where we're sitting right now, feeling like 26. That's with the humidity factored in. Those winds, they're out of the south-southeast, 15 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling, and that humidity at 86%. It does seem to be dropping a little bit, but we'll see how the day plays out because, like I said, storms just off to the west, and we could be seeing showers or maybe some thunderstorms. And that's not just here in the south, right up into northern Manitoba, with that chance even increasing into the afternoon today. Speaking of increasing into the afternoon, winds will be getting stronger later on today as well, and then those winds shifting out of the west overnight. Clearing as far as the sky conditions go, and that'll set us up for an even hotter, sunnier day for tomorrow, and then perhaps another round of rain by the end of the week. Temperatures throughout this week remaining slightly above seasonal, only dipping a degree or two as we look ahead to the weekend. This little guy puts such a smile on my face. I love how alert he's looking on the watch out at Riding Mountain National Park. Thanks to Renee for the photo, and keep them coming, please, to Winnipeg weather at ctv.ca.
Weather brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful at 900 Lorimer Boulevard, featuring Hunter Douglas shades.
Thanks, Terry. A 90-year-old Ottawa woman is speaking out after becoming the victim of a distraction theft. Robbed of a sentimental piece of jewelry targeted while sitting outside her retirement home. CTV's Katie Griffin tells us what happened.
Thank God she didn't get this one, because that was my wedding ring.
At 90 years old, Terry Thompson has seen a lot. Never anything like this.
And I look at my hand, my ring was gone. She took the ring at the same time that she took the old ring off.
While having a smoke outside Ogilvie Villa retirement home Sunday, Thompson says she was approached by a woman who forcefully put jewelry on her.
I said, I don't want any. You keep it, you wear it. And all of a sudden, she grabbed my hand, put the ring on, and then all of a sudden, she took it off. I said, take that off. And she was gone in about a second.
Also gone, a cherished aquamarine and diamond ring.
You know, my husband gave me that in 1975.
The loss of it, heartbreaking.
I'm sad for my mom, upset. Hopefully they can catch this person.
Last month, police asked for help identifying suspects involved in distraction thefts targeting the elderly, including a 92-year-old robbed of a necklace and 2 rings in her driveway on Hillary Avenue, and a gold necklace stolen from a 94-year-old on Beaver Pond Drive. To help protect yourself from distraction thefts, police say to avoid displaying expensive or sentimental jewelry in public. Stay alert to your surroundings, especially in parking lots. Don't allow strangers to touch you, and if approached under suspicious circumstances, walk away and seek help. From Thompson, a simple plea.
Please bring my ring back.
Katie Griffin, CTV News, Ottawa.
CTV Morning Live is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
The Kids Cleanup Crew, a program from the Spence Neighborhood Association, is helping children as young as 6 take pride in the neighborhood that they call home. Funded by the Community Incentive Grant, the incentive teaches kids about teamwork, leadership, and the power of giving back, while helping build a cleaner and stronger community for everyone. Joining us now are Cynthia Parmenon, Building Belonging Coordinator, and her son Noah. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
So tell us about the Cleanup Crew.
So the Cleanup Crew is basically like we take like kids from their environment, like around like their community, and we bring them to Spence neighborhood, like at the Merc, and we like start clean up around the garbage and everything like that. And he loves to clean up around the environment. Hey?
Well, you seem like you're enjoying this conversation. What do you like about it?
I like about it because you have clean up the planet to clean up the reality of the planet because the planet needs our help.
That is very well said. I would agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
Is that why you guys started this whole thing? Making the environment cleaner for everyone around?
Yes, we did that. Like me and my like Noah and everyone talked about it. Like say like we need to clean the environment, everything like that. And around the communities, when we start cleaning up, like outside, we actually have people thanking us for saying thank you for cleaning like the environment and everything like that, because we actually need it, because we have like a park and it gets really dirty all the time, like with people throwing garbage and everything. So us cleanup crew actually takes an initiative and like showing them like confidence and like respect like to our like community like outside. And like so all the garbage is clean around the parks. So it's amazing that I see them like taking like 5 garbage bags, like they fill up.
Wow, that's a lot.
And then I was like shocked with these kids. It was like they're amazing, like what they could do.
Wow. What's the age range of the kids?
6 and 13.
6 and 13.
Yeah.
Wow. So it's pretty wide range. And what do you think the kids are getting out of it?
They're actually getting out like confidence, like around like they're getting confidence and like building teamwork. They're building teamwork and showing them like basically like responsibility. Like they're getting like leaderships too, because they get to like freely like, go to clean up. They like when they see garbage, they get very excited and like say, "Oh, I got this," and like they're all like very excited, like racing to get garbage. It just makes me so happy to see. And I'm like so proud of them.
What do you hope that this does moving forward for the future? Is it a program that you're looking to expand on?
Yeah, I want to expand on this like for next year hopefully, because I know this can end in September, which is kind of like sad, like beginning of September before school starts. So like I want to like hopefully we can, you know, expand some more on this and get more kids involved as well, because right now when we got maybe like 5 or 6 kids that actually joining the kids cleanup crew.
Noah, thank you so much for being here this morning. We really appreciate it. I loved your comment about creating a better environment for everyone, and thank you for being here as well.
Yes, and thank you for all of your hard work in cleaning up some of those parks. That's awesome. All right, looking outside, it's 20 degrees right now. It feels like 26. You can certainly notice the effect of the humidity out there this morning. The breeze is light out of the south-southeast, just 15 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling, and the humidity sits at 86%. Some darker clouds starting to move in, but the smoke has never moved out. Parts of northern Manitoba remain under that heavy smoke warning all throughout the north, down along that eastern border through east central Manitoba, and then what's not included in the warning is still a straight-up advisory from Environment Canada. Now, relief might come today, perhaps a bit of improvement as some precipitation is expected. And my goodness, do we ever need the rain? It's been so dry. We've had such a dry and horrifically terrible fire season, so maybe some precipitation will help that out, but there is the risk that along with the showers comes some thunderstorms, and lightning striking those dry areas could be somewhat hazardous. So we'll keep our fingers crossed for more rain than thunderstorms, but the possibility is there that we see both. 27 degrees today with stronger winds increasing out of the southwest, at times gusting to 40 kilometers per hour. 27 is already a little bit above seasonal, with 26 being a normal daytime high, and then 13 being a seasonal low, and will remain above that overnight. The sky will clear, the wind still shifting slightly out of the west. We might notice a bit more smoke moving in throughout the day tomorrow. It's going to be a hotter day tomorrow as well, with a mix of sun and cloud. 20K winds expected out of the west, and from there another round of rain. We will welcome that again to move in by the end of the week on Friday. Weekend itself just dropping a degree from the seasonal 26, and maybe even dropping another couple degrees as we look ahead into next week.
Thank you, Terry. A man who RCMP say was let out of the back of a cruiser during his arrest has been rearrested. 30-year-old Robert Easter is back in custody 2 weeks after he was initially arrested in Chemawawin Cree Nation. Mounties say that he was found Monday inside of a shed in the community. He's charged with escaping custody, in addition to some earlier charges of failure to comply with a release order. Police previously said a 28-year-old woman helped him escape. She is also facing charges. A Winnipeg senior says that the province is delaying vital resources for her supplemental oxygen. Manitoba Health is asking people to pick up checks and documents in person due to ongoing labor issues at Canada Post.
When my check wasn't in the mail, I phoned and told I was to go to 300 Carlton Street and pick it up.
90-year-old Evelyn Kenny, she uses an oxygen tank for her everyday life. She pays for her rent, oxygen up front, then a rebate check from the provincial government. For the last 2 months, the now $435 checks have not been arriving in the mail. Kenny wonders why federal checks are being delivered as normal, while provincial ones require a difficult trip downtown.
I would have to book Handy Transit and get them to take me down. And as a rule, Handy Transit does not wait for you. So that means if they wouldn't wait for me, I would at least have an hour's wait downtown to be picked up and come home.
CTV News reached out to the health minister's office and received a response. In the statement, minister's spokesperson said, quote, "Our priority is to ensure that all Manitobans, especially seniors and vulnerable individuals, continue to receive the support that they need. To prevent essential checks from being delayed, Manitoba opened essential mail distribution centers as a precaution. We remain committed to working across government to address any ongoing concerns and ensure that affected individuals are supported during this time. New this morning, U.S. President Donald Trump's special envoy Steve Witkoff has met with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Moscow. This meeting comes just days before the White House's deadline for Russia to reach a peace deal with Ukraine or potentially face severe economic penalties. The Kremlin didn't give any details on the meeting. Olympic medalist Madison Maley lost her gold bracelet while biking in Vancouver. She's brought it to celebrate her team's gold medal victory in Tokyo. She was desperate to get it back, so she called on a specialist. CTV's Sinjin Alexander reports.
Chris Turner is the first to admit you can't find them all. But he has been successful more than 500 times, he says, and that's why his friends call him the ring finder.
Doing this and holding up somebody's ring and seeing how it affects her life is the best thing I've ever done.
His latest client, Vancouver's Madison Maley, who bought this Cartier bracelet to remember her rowing team's gold medal victory in Tokyo, says it vanished on Thursday while she was out for a bike ride in Stanley Park.
And had it inscribed with Olympic champion Canadian Women's Aid.
Her husband, Olympian Maxwell Latimer, helped her search up and down without any luck until dark. As a last resort, they picked up the phone.
Okay, so we came around the trail.
Now on the job, the ring finder wasn't thrilled with the odds.
Yeah, it didn't sound good. I mean, how do you actually retrace a bike path and for maybe 2 or 3 miles?
But before they even began to look, the jewel sleuth asked a good 20 minutes worth of questions when something triggered and he knew how to focus the hunt.
Let me just see something.
With Maley at work, the men took the road less traveled where the path narrows near Beaver Lake.
Max, whatever you do, keep focused on the right side, because if we're going to find it, it's going to be on the right side.
And within minutes,
Max looks down and goes.
Max found one half.
And the look at his eyes were like this big.
The ring finder, the other.
He was vibrating. He was so excited because Max really didn't think there was a chance.
I'm shaking.
How does that feel?
We gave up last night.
How's that feel?
Time to tell Maley they played it coy.
I felt like I won the gold medal.
I can't believe it.
By the way, the bracelet wasn't broken. It just needs a couple of screws and is as good as new and back where it belongs. Sinjin Alexander, CTV News, Vancouver.
That's awesome. Here's another look at traffic, Portage and Polo Park. Smooth drive at this edge of town. No delays to tell you about. Taking a look at your gas prices, the Canadian average stands at $1.37, while the provincial average is slightly lower, $1.34, and in Winnipeg the average is $1.35. The lowest price in the city is at $1.27. All this info is on GasBuddy.com.
Price at the pump brought to you by KidneyCard.ca. Get a free tow and a tax receipt for value of your car.
It's time to check in with our question of the day, and we asked you guys, what's the one must-have dish at your summer barbecue, and who's the grill master in your family? Susan says, I love barbecued steak. My niece Abby is the chef in the family. Marlene says, my hubby is the grill master of our favorite. It's a good steak. Thank you guys so much for your responses. Daniel Halmerson joins us once again from the Folklorama British Isles Pavilion. Good morning, Danny.
Good morning, Ainsley. We've had a great morning here. We tried some food and some drinks. We learned a little bit more about the culture. We saw some Highland dancing earlier, and shortly we're going to see some Irish dancing. Now, when you hear Folklorama has world-class performances, they're not kidding here. I'm joined by two dancers from the McConnell School of Dance, McKinley and Katie, who both competed at the World Championships earlier this year. And McKinley, you won the under 15 in the world. Tell me a little bit about that.
It was a very great experience to compete at the Worlds. This is my second time winning and bringing home a first place globe, and it means a lot to me, and I hope to do it again in the future.
And Katie, you runner-up in your category. Tell me a little bit about that.
Honestly, it was the most surreal experience that anyone could experience, and it still kind of doesn't really feel real, and I hope to do it again as well. So.
And to bring that back here to Winnipeg and to Folklorama and get to showcase, to your own community, what does that mean to you?
It means so much, and I'm so happy that all my friends and family can, support me and see my achievements, and it's just so cool that I can bring that home.
And McKinley, tell me a little bit about the McConnell School of Dance.
The McConnell School of Dance has been here in Winnipeg, Manitoba for a little over 75 years, and we have a performance troupe. We go around and do performances for nursing homes, daycares, and schools, and yeah, we showcase our dances that we practice, and yeah, you'll see a bit of that.
Perfect. Well, let's not waste any more time. Let's get you guys dancing behind me here.
Spectacular.
The footwork is so impressive, honestly.
Oh.
Yeah. Hey, looks good, and a great thing to take in. I mean, especially on a day that you might be looking for some indoor activities. It's 20 degrees right now. I would typically be on the roof this time, but I'm not, and I'll show you why in just a second. We've got south-southeast winds, 15 kilometers per hour. The pressure falling, the humidity at 86%, that 20 feeling like 26 once you're factoring in the humidity. But we also still have to talk about the smoke plaguing northern Manitoba along that eastern border as well. The warnings remain in place. Not the case here in the south, but we could notice more of that smoke moving back in again. But the reason I'm inside right now, it all has to do with these storms that are passing through, and there you can see right around the Winnipeg area and just off to the west. Lightning bolts firing off. I value my life too much to go outside in this. All right, up in northern Manitoba, you too can expect some showers or some thunderstorms. High 20 temperatures. Northwestern Manitoba might be just slightly cooler in the low 20s, but still the possibility of some showers or some thunderstorms. In fact, nearly everybody will likely see that precipitation rolling through at times. More seasonal values expected here through southern Manitoba, 26 degrees. That's normal for this time of year. We might go just beyond it today, and then further to the east, just a degree or 3 cooler through parts of northwestern Ontario. Today could be just slightly above seasonal. Tomorrow, even hotter yet. We'll see the clearing happen overnight. A little more sunshine for tomorrow, and then maybe another round of rain to finish off the week before we're looking ahead at a dry and an only slightly cooler weekend. Taking a break, but we'll be back with more CTV Morning Live.
CTV Morning Live weather brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
Good morning. It's 8:45. Leo Ledochowski, the founder of Canada Inns, Manitoba's largest hotel chain, has died. Both Premier Wab Kinew and Winnipeg Mayor Scott Gillingham posted tributes to Ledochowski on social media. He was an outspoken leader in Manitoba's hospitality industry. He served on the board of the Hotel Association of Canada for nearly 30 years. He was also a leader in Manitoba's Ukrainian community. Ledochowski founded Canada Inns in the late 70s. There are now Canada Inns centers in Winnipeg, Portage la Prairie, Brandon, and Grand Forks. The company also owns the Metropolitan Entertainment Center downtown and 9 Tavern United restaurants. Ledochowski was invested into the Order of Manitoba in 2022, recognizing his contributions to healthcare, children's sports, the United Way, and the Canadian Museum for Human Rights. Canada's Privacy Commissioner has launched an investigation into a cyber attack targeting WestJet. WestJet warned customers in June about some personal and travel-related data being stolen. The investigation will look into the security safeguards at the WestJet at the time of the breach, as well as the adequacy of its notifications to people affected. WestJet says it fully supports the investigation. The breach was first made public on June 13th and involved what the company described as sophisticated criminal third party.
No doubt about it, it's been a hot summer. So to help us beat the heat, Julia Boncato is joining us, a lifestyle expert, with perhaps some refreshments to help us stay cool. Good morning, Julia, and welcome.
Good morning. How's it going?
It's going all right, but as I mentioned, the heat has been cranked up, so I think we're all looking for ways to stay cool, and that's what you're coming in with today.
Yes, absolutely. So summer is really the time to, we want to make the most out of our summers, especially as Canadians, just because they're so short-lived. So it's really about spending that quality time with the kids, with the family, and finding ways to reconnect with ourselves. So there's really no better way to do that than with some refreshing beverages. But we don't want something overly sweet when it's this hot out. So that's why I like to say tart is the new sweet. Not sure if you've heard.
I love that. So
yes.
What kind of tart drinks are you going to be sharing with us today? Because I'm somebody too that I don't like things too sweet. I'm very curious to see what you got.
Yeah, so for my tart lineup, I have, of course, very tarty drink selections that I'm going to be showing you, but we're also adding a little bit of sparkle just to celebrate the summer season as well. So my favorite tart flavor has always been cranberry. So I'm going to be using Ocean Spray's new line of cranberry juices. There are so many delicious flavor options and combinations. So they're already kind of pre-mixed for you, and they make the job really easy. And of course, nobody does cranberries better than Ocean Spray.
Yeah, so, definitely.
Yeah. So starting off with the first one, I like to call this one the Peach Porch Fizz, because this is one my mom and I love to enjoy while we're sitting out on the porch and catching up. So what I have here is a glass filled with muddled Ontario peaches and some basil. So I'm just filling that up with ice. And then I'm going to be using the new flavor, which is so delicious. It is the white cranberry peach. I'm going to crack it here, and I'm going to even take a sip because it's so good on its own as well.
I love it.
I wish you could taste it. So I'm going to just top this up with some of that. And then all of these, of course, can be enjoyed as mocktails, but they are all great with your favorite spirits. So gin, vodka, rum, whatever it is. This one I love to do with vodka. I like to set out some chips, a little bit of olives, and you have kind of like a nice porch aperitif moment.
Very nice and easy. Just the muddled peach, and you go add the beverage and you got it. So simple. We don't want to run out of time, and you still got a couple more drinks to share with us.
So let me power through these ones. This one is for the people who are looking for that quiet Zen moment. So I'm just filling a lowball glass with ice. I like to freeze. I like to keep some of my glassware in the freezer just because it makes it extra refreshing. And I'm using this other flavor that's brand new. It's the cranberry pomegranate. So I'm going to fill that up.
Oh,
and then I'm
that sounds delicious.
Gonna pop in some of my favorite berries. You can do pomegranate seeds. Today I have raspberries and blueberries. And then what I like to do is take some garden fresh mint. This is from my potted herbs that I have. And what this does is add a really nice, give it a nice slap. Oh, it flew away because it's windy here. But this adds a really nice, cool, calming effect. So it's kind of like you're at the spa. So that one's lovely for when I'm hanging out on the patio. And then lastly, we have a family-friendly sangria. So this one, I like to pop in some orange slices. We're keeping it really easy. Some frozen berries. Let's add those in. And this is great because the whole family can just kind of come and grab a glass from the pitcher. And for this one, I'm going to be using the cranberry mango flavor, which is a fan fave. So just filling that pitcher up. And then, of course, if you want to make it boozy for the adults, you can add your favorite white wine.
Very nice.
As a base. And then I'm going to make it a little fancy and do a couple of lemon wedges.
So simple, so easy, so refreshing. I love that, as you mentioned, great for the whole family. If you want to spice it up a little bit more, you can. But they were all so simple and came together so quickly. Julia, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much.
All right, looking at those storms, or at least the storm clouds off in the distance there. 20 degrees, but it feels like 26 with a 15K wind out of the south-southeast. The pressure is falling, the humidity sitting at 86%. We once again need to talk about the smoke still across much of northern Manitoba, running down that eastern border. That's where the warnings remain in place. We've been having clearer conditions, although a shift in the winds over the next 24, 48 hours, things could change for us as well. Speaking of changing, we've been watching the storms rolling through, getting pretty close to the Winnipeg area. And there you can see we're just starting to see the beginnings of that precipitation, which most places around the province will be seeing for today. Chance of showers, maybe some thunderstorms. We'll see what we get with that. 27 degrees is where we're headed today, so that is slightly above seasonal. 26 a normal daytime high, 13 a seasonal low temperature. You can see not just our highs, but also our lows, keeping us a little bit above seasonal through the rest of this week anyway. The sky clearing overnight, sunnier conditions for tomorrow, but it could be an even hotter day and possibly a smokier day. We'll see what happens with those winds shifting, but Environment Canada is warning of some possible smoke moving in for tomorrow. Another round of rain by the end of the week. We will welcome that again. And then just as we're moving on into the weekend, still pleasant in those mid-20s, but starting to drop off from the seasonal 26 degrees. And it does look like it'll be a little bit drier throughout the weekend and continuing on with those just barely below seasonal temperatures as we look further ahead to next week. Taking a break right now, but we'll be back with more CTV Morning Live.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center. Salon services provided by S&T Spa Salon.
Happy Hump Day. Multitasking is a must when it comes to parenting, and this dad shows us how he gets things done at home. Well, if you don't have time for two chores, combine them. He's doing the dishes while giving his baby a bath in the kitchen sink. The baby looks happy and is helping it out with the sponge.
I know
so
that
gross.
this was just done for the camera and for likes. I'm sure I need to tell myself that because otherwise I'm grossed out.
Yeah. Onwards. They say life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. Check it out. 4, 5. See, less gross. Well, depends on how you look. These are adorable chocolate
See,
labs.
but there's no dishwater.
Yeah,
no dishes in
I think
with
that
them.
was the combination that was really making our stomachs turn.
You needed either more babies or more dogs.
It's all cute. We'll see you tomorrow, guys.